Hey everyone, it's your buddy Graphic back with another video, and today we're going to be jumping into some old PvP VODs and just talking about New World. Just like I said, I wanted to jump into some of these clips again and just kind of look through them as we talk about the release of New World. Not too far away at all, less than 24 hours at this point. A lot of us obviously very, very excited about some of the different weapon combos we're going to be trying out. Hey, how are you guys doing, Yumbre and Louis Flax? There's actually some new things I want to talk about as well with the actual launcher. So if we actually take a look, if you guys have already pre-downloaded New World, if you didn't know you could, taking a look at that, there is some new things that are new settings that people probably don't know too much about yet. If you actually jump through some of these settings in the launcher, you can take a look, or not the launcher, I keep saying the launcher, but on the main menu, you can actually go to settings. If you actually go down a little bit, you can see that there is some new stuff to take a look at. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the patch notes at all, coming out obviously on release of the game going live. I'm not sure that's a great idea, but it would probably build hype giving it out a little bit earlier. But hey, Schwacker, how you doing? I did want to show you guys, like I said, some of these different. Hey, thank you for subscribing, Falco. I appreciate you subscribing to the channel. Like I said, there's a bunch of new settings that are on New World's main menu. You can actually take a look at. If we actually go through to gameplay, this is where you're going to see auto pin main story quests, auto pin side quests, auto pin faction missions, auto pin town projects, auto pin recipes. So these are going to be 5 different, like I said, settings that a lot of people have not actually taken a look at yet, because like I said, these are new to the game, and these are going to be very helpful, by the way, when it comes to just a ton of clutter on your UI. You're going to have missions or faction missions or side quests that you don't actually even want to take a look at quite yet. So the big one to obviously auto pin is the main story. Other than that, you can take a look yourself and kind of change those around as well. How long does it take to delete a character in New World? I'm not sure how long it takes to delete. That obviously would depend on the servers, but from what I'm hearing, it'll take about 5 minutes or maybe even 10 minutes after you delete your character to actually make your new character with that name. Can actually be made with that name. So if you're thinking about, making a character at 2 a.m., if you're on the east side of the US, getting up for the Europe release, then you can do that, but you are going to have to, like I said, be careful because it may take 5, 10, 15 minutes to delete the character and then, re-log in and get your name on the server or region you're looking to get it on. I did want to look through some more of these settings just to see if there was anything else we may have been missing as well. This is a cool effect you got going with your gameplay in the background props. Oh, this is actually kind of interesting, huh? That I have the gameplay behind the settings. I don't even know if, I don't think that's really on purpose, to be honest with you. But if I have the settings up, it does look like it, does come through the background there. There's a lot of cool settings, though, like I said, in New World right now that people don't really take advantage of. The obvious ones, if you go through, you can take a look, but there's some obvious ones you should be taking advantage of when it comes to a couple different things. And when gameplay is one of the biggest ones. Camera shake, a lot of people hate that. You probably are going to want that off. We also have social action hotkey. Hey, thank you for subscribing to the channel, Colin. I appreciate the subscription to the YouTube channel. We are going to put out, by the way, a ton of different content in the upcoming, 5 to 7 days. We have tons of things that we are going to be looking through, and not just streaming every single day, but making content. Like I said, this entire next couple of weeks are going to be such a grind on this channel. Without patch notes, it's hard to say, but I'll probably main Fire Staff Rapier for small scale and open world. I'd agree. Patch notes are going to take a big. They're going to be a big reason as to why I do or do not go Rapier Bow or Rapier Fire Staff first. It depends, obviously, if there's anything big that's changing. I would assume with it coming out, the minute the game goes live, that we aren't going to probably see anything too major in, weapon balance at the very least. We'll see what happens with that, but like I said, if it comes out the minute the game goes live, I would assume or hope that they don't have too big of balance changes. And I also think they're going to be a little bit conservative on the balance changes because they don't want to make anybody upset with their most recent, weapon just getting nerfed to the ground or maybe making something too overpowered. So they're going to probably be very, very limited on what they do with the changes. What will be the best Great Axe build for PvE? Well, that definitely depends. So the Great Axe build right now, if you want to go PvE, I'm not going to bring up a website or anything, but you can pretty much go anything for PvE. That's one thing to kind of think about. is you can respec for free, right? So within your first 6 levels, or first, I guess not six, but about 7 to 8 levels, you should be able to get, a bunch of different abilities on the Great Axe and test out each individual ability on the shores of Eternum. So when you're washed up on shore, make sure to take advantage of, like I said, you have free respecking when it comes to attributes, and it has free respecking when it comes to abilities until a certain time into the game. So make sure to take advantage of those as much as you possibly can. I know you don't want to announce your server, but do you know of servers that are going to be mostly flagged for PvP other than Valhalla or the streamer servers? Schwacker, I really don't, unfortunately. I'm not hearing much. I'm having my company pretty much do all the research for me, so I haven't dove too deep into, what servers are going to be the best to jump into. Looks like Valhalla is going to be one of the biggest PvP servers, obviously, but I am expecting Zerg versus Zerg quite a bit on Valhalla. I'm kind of in the same boat as you, Schwacker. If I was looking to kind of go a different server than Valhalla, it would probably be, the second or third in line, because I wouldn't want to go on the main PvP server. I would want to go on, a fairly solid competitive server, but just not the, like I said, main PvP server. Is Sword and Shield a viable PvP build? Yes, Sword and Shield is very, very viable. Actually, we're going to have a video up on Sword and Shield in the next couple of days, dueling-wise, Mastery level 20 Sword and Shield, seeing how it works against maybe one of the strongest builds out there, Rapier and Fire Staff, as well as Rapier and Bow. So keep in, that's coming soon, actually, so, stay in tune for that. Void Gauntlet on launch. I would say Void Gauntlet is not going to be on launch, most likely. Hey, JG, thank you for subscribing to the channel. I really appreciate it. Did you guys enter that Azoth tree giveaway, by the way? And I know a lot of you probably did watch that New World stream on Twitch, but very, very interesting to see, a lot of people entering that stream and going over some of those questions. Let's see what else we have. So, yeah, like I said, Void Gauntlet not on launch. I would say absolutely not going to be on launch, unfortunately, for the majority of you guys that probably want to see it on launch. It's going to be something fun to mess around with, I would say, a month or two down the line after launch, maybe even longer. But I'm pretty sure they're not going to, like I said, launch anything new like a Void Gauntlet or a Dual Daggers before that. At least I'm NA, so I can see them before I play on my server. Yeah, that's going to be very nice, Tony. For the EU, they're going to have to get in queue, I guess, and then look at the, patch notes as they're in queue. I would like to make a video on it, so that's going to be really rough for me. I do want to switch out of the settings and kind of go back just to the actual video of the gameplay now. But like I said, it's going to be very, very interesting when it comes to the patch notes, because I wanted to make with Cleo Menace, we always do, patch notes tier list over, or not patch notes tier list, but PvP tier list. And the patch notes were going to help us with this next one. But, waking up at an extra 3 hours early to make sure we can get the video out, upload it, and, get the title and thumbnail and everything doesn't sound exactly the way to go, but we may be doing it anyway. So you may be able to see a PvP tier list by the next morning, but we would like to also see it kind of play in game as well before we make one. So we'll see what happens with that, but a lot of people are excited for those. The Rapier Firestaff gang. Yeah, it seems like we have a lot of those on this channel, and that's something I love to see because, like I said, that's definitely the main combo that I was going in the closed beta, and I'll probably be going quite a bit of that as well in the actual release. I just love it. The mobility, the damage, it's all there. Hell yeah, I'm going Sword and Shield, light or medium armor for PvP. So light armor is going to be the way to go for the first about 10 to 15 to 20 levels. From there, you're going to need to go medium just so you don't get one shot. Light armor is very, very weak with the most recent changes to where you have to be 13 weight or under. You're not going to have much physical or elemental resistance. So like I said, it's going to be big to make sure um, you have enough armor that you're not going to get one shot. And with Sword and Shield, it's already very, very strong to continue, like I said, with that medium armor. So I think medium armor is going to be the play for almost any build. Even with me going Rapier Bow or Rapier Firestaff, I will be going medium armor after about level 30, 40. So keep that in mind. As a tank, should I go medium or heavy armor? So Luflax, it depends on if you're looking for PvP in the open world or you're looking for just tanking, PvE content in expeditions, dungeons. Depending on what you're looking to do, you are going to want to go medium armor for the most part, just because you're going to want to get in these fights. So in this open world fight, you can see that we're already kiting. So we're in a 2v5 or 3v5. So we're kiting this group of about 6 or 7 or so. If you're heavy armor, you're not going to be able to catch up to any of this, open world stuff. But if you're looking to do expeditions and dungeons and tank and wars, you're definitely going to want heavy. Heavy is obviously the strongest in that, kind of a situation. So PvE, yeah, if you're just doing PvE, mainly focused on PvE, you're definitely going to want heavy and going full heavy across the board. Hey, Ghost, how you doing, man? Heavy's going to be just like I said, the strongest when it comes to PvE because, like I said, you can have the most not just elemental but also armor when it comes to resistance there. So I think a lot of people are going to probably stick with going full tank heavy in PvE, and when it comes to wars as well, PvP wise, sticking heavy armored players on the point is always going to be something that people will continue to probably do. There's just, like I said, a lot of different combos that people are going to be trying in wars as well. Ice Gauntlet right now going to be one of the biggest underdogs. A lot of people don't realize how strong Ice Gauntlet is, and the fact that you can actually play Fire Staff and Ice Gauntlet together is something that a lot of people are still learning. A lot of people thought that you couldn't play both, you'd have mana problems. Well, there's so many great abilities that make sure you do not have mana problems. So Fire Staff, Ice Gauntlet, maybe as a combo, mages in general, going to be pretty strong in this game. Definitely with the kiting mechanics that are kind of built in with the Ice Gauntlet, with having so much CC, and with Fire Staff having that mobility. So you're gonna have a little bit of both there. Definitely gonna be a strong, like I said, build. As you can see here, I mean, just so many opportunities to outplay. This is actually closed beta gameplay, this specific clip, and you're going to be able to tell just based on the stamina, how fast we get it back when you go fully depleted. Now, you are going to want, with the new mechanic on stamina, to never really run out of full stamina. If you run out, your stamina is going to come slower. You're also going to you're also going to run a little bit slower. So there's just a couple things to keep in mind. You aren't going to ever want to really deplete that stamina bar. Hey, Ferge, how you doing, man? I'm going to be going. Well, actually, I don't know what server I'm going quite yet, so I can't tell you. We're all trying to kind of hide that, our company as a whole, just because we don't want certain factions. I'm assuming like our companies like PAX East, we don't want them, and obviously some of the streamers that are going on different servers as well. I don't think they even know which server we're going on yet. But even when we do, I'm not going to be really telling what server until about the minute of when I'm first logging in. So they're kind of keeping it a secret. I'm going to start Fire Staff and Ice Gauntlet, the branch into Rapier and Musket. That sounds good, Colin. I think that's going to be a solid build for sure. I think a lot of people are, like I said, loving the kind of dual mage build. I think it's going to continue to be one of the strongest in the game when it comes to just kiting and maybe even a 2vx or 3vx, or just making sure to just stay alive in some of these fights. I think I missed the answer. Is it viable to level up bow, rapier, and fire staff at the same time? So you can only level up two weapons at the same time, right? So bow, rapier, or fire staff. Okay, so you're asking, is it viable to level up bow, rapier, and fire staff at the same time? So yeah, you can level up all three, and that's what I'm actually doing. I love all three of those weapons. I'm going to be focusing on the rapier and bow probably in the beginning, and then going to fire staff about level 30 or 40 when I have one of those masteries leveled max to level 20. So once I max one out, I'll just be switching to my third weapon, and then I'll probably focus on those three weapons in PvP and PvE for the most part until a little bit later down the line. I definitely want to try out Void Gauntlet when that comes out in Dual Dagger, so you'll have to definitely see that gameplay when those weapons do come. Cool. I'll be going Moro as Syndicate. Okay, Ferge. I think we are probably not going Syndicate, so hopefully we get maybe we'll be on your server. That'd be fun to play against you in some wars. Obviously, maybe an outpost rush in the future, and then some duels as well, because your bow gameplay was killing it, at least against the Fire Staff Rapier. I have seen how strong it is, and I'm trying it out myself recently, and I love the build. It'd be, like I said, it'd be cool though, because even if we're playing against you in wars, it'd be fun. Good competition. Musket Life Staff for me. Musket Life Staff's an interesting one. I think that could definitely work. Obviously, you're not going to scale with the focus onto the musket, so you are going to have probably a little bit less damage unless you're more focused on. I'm actually curious, Professor, if you want to tell me how you're thinking of doing your attributes. More focus, more dexterity, more intelligence. What are you trying to go for there? Most likely, I guess you're going to be going focus, dexterity, and a little bit of constitution. But I would like to know what you said about that, or would say about that. Would you recommend Fire Staff or Ice Gauntlet to pair with the sword in PvP? I love Fire Staff more, but the Ice Gauntlet seems at really a better pairing. I would agree that the Ice Gauntlet seems like a better pairing. I would say Ice Gauntlet, Sword, and Shield is probably the best, to be honest with you. Graphic, can you hear me? I love you. Yeah, Sons of Thor, I can see your message and I hear you. Thanks for the love. Hey, Louis Flax, thank you for following on Twitch. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, me too. Okay, so yeah, no problem, no problem. Is it possible to play already? No, this is actually going to be, this is just PvP gameplay right here. And I was kind of showing them the settings in New World. There's actually settings right now that you can actually see that there is kind of different settings that we haven't really been able to see yet. If you actually, let me bring it up here. If you go to gameplay, and it's not a big deal, but if you go to gameplay, you see that there's auto pin main story quests, auto pin side quests, auto pin faction missions, auto pin town projects, and auto pin recipes. So you can actually change those around and play with some of these settings before launch, so you don't have to play with these settings in game. Definitely a nice thing, a nice thing about pre-downloading, and something I suggest to everybody watching is to go through your settings before you play the game, so you don't have to do it while you're loading in for the first time. Obviously, you may want to change things around later on, but it's very, very nice, like I said, to just take a look at it now while you can and have the time. I'm going to jump out of this of New World's game just so we don't have to sit here and listen to the music of it and kind of be tortured because we aren't being able to play yet. Let me bring this back up the window. Okay, so this is actually a 1v1 with the fire staff rapier against this player. And, these are the kind of fights that I love the most, is just getting, these open world 1v1 or 2v2s. Definitely the most fun out of any of the PvP, in my opinion. I'm trying to go for main musket decks with off heals for a nice PvE farm build. Yeah, that would be very, very solid. You're going to be able to have, or at least be able to go through that PvE side of things very, very quickly. The one thing with the musket is bullets are a little bit hard to come by early on, and then you have to remember as well that if they do get in melee range, you're going to have to just I guess you wouldn't have much of a problem just because the heals are so strong, but you wouldn't do too much damage. So keep that in mind. Thanks for the answers, man. I'll be playing on NA West, but good luck on your journeys. Yeah, good luck on your journeys. NA East is where I'll be at, definitely. But NA West, like I said, we're all going to have different experiences, but at the same time, the same experiences. So when we talk in streams and we talk in videos, when we see gameplay, we're all going to be able to relate fairly easily. So keep that in mind as well. Bow hatchet worth, yeah. Bow and hatchet's a very, very strong combo. I think bow hatchet's one of the stronger combos that people don't really realize. You just stick with your bow; they come close to you. You switch to your hatchet, you do a lot of damage. You have berserk, you have undying. Is it the strongest? I don't know if it's the strongest, but you could definitely try it out, see how it goes. Try it out for sure, like I said. I know how to get so many bullets. I got all the saltpeter spots down. Nice. I know they're obviously in caves, and that's going to be the main spot you really go for them. But if you are located in Everfall, obviously Everfall is going to be a little bit harder to um, kind of get that saltpeter because the only cave there I think is about level 18, 19 PVE, uh, the PVE side of things at the very least. Hey, we got a bunch of different follows on Twitch. Thank you, Madden, for following. Lol, No Soul, thank you for following. And Sojin, thank you for following. I appreciate all the follows on Twitch. If you guys don't know, I have a YouTube channel, and you can actually support me there, subscribe to the channel there, and then you can also follow me on Twitch and support me there. So I do appreciate it on both sides of the platforms there. What time the game start? The game starts for me at 8 a.m. Eastern. So 8 a.m. Eastern, we're going to be starting that stream, playing for at least 14 hours, I would assume. So we'll see how it goes. We're going to probably have a group of 5 running things together, and hopefully at least being able to get to the Amarine excavation in the first day. We'll see what happens. I'm not sure exactly how far we'll get. I would assume we could, though. Should I delete the open beta, Madden? Yeah, I would say you probably can delete that open beta. Really no reason to have open beta at this point. Um, now we have the pre-download. There's, at least in my opinion, no reason. What is the end game looking in this? I mean, you grind for something other than level cap and gear. I mean, how you obtain the best gear for every one of your characters? Well, there's a couple different ways to get some of the best gear, right? It's not just all PvP, it's not just all PvE. So that's the cool thing about this. You can actually go to New World Database right now and actually take a look at some of the legendary items and see where they come from. So sometimes you'll get stuff from Outpost Rush, which is a 20v20 PvP mode. Sometimes you'll get some of the best gear from the 2 level 60 dungeons or PvE arenas that are also pretty much for level 60 players. So all of that end game gear is, available to you whether it's PvE or PvP. And then you also have crafting, right? Where you can, get exactly what kind of perks you're looking for. You can get exactly what kind of build you're wanting. Hey, Empire, thank you for following on Twitch. I appreciate it, man. Like I said, though, you can actually go and get your gear late game at level 60, whether it's through, like I said, PvE arenas like the Spriggans you've heard about, the 2 level 60 dungeons, Garden of Genesis, and the Lazarus Instrumentality, which, by the way, I will have guides out for here in the next couple of days for both of them and show you guys kind of the boss fights. Very, very cool mechanics on both of those dungeons. And they actually buffed recently the damage and the health on both of those. So you're going to see a lot of crazy things, ability wise. There's a lot of one shot mechanics. So if you're not going heavy armor, you're going to get one shot. I do think, realistically, the life staff needs nerfed a little bit because that's pretty much the way to survive anything right now is just running life staff. Hey, thank you guys for all the follows on Twitch. I appreciate it. Yabu and Kiro. I appreciate it, man. Um, and let me read some of the chat here. I think I'm skipping on some of the chat because I got so involved with the late game. Because I've heard a lot of people complain about, is there anything to do late game? Yeah, there's a ton to do late game. I mean, obviously, at some point you could run out of things if they don't keep up to date with expansions, new zones and new weapons. But that's any game, and so there's not really much scare, in my opinion, on the idea of not being much content late game. Oh, no problem, man. What is the best gems from armor in a tank or PvE corrupted portals? So, what's the best armor? Well, you're probably going to want to make sure to have a taunt gem, right? If you're going a tank, that's the big thing I'm going to mention. I'm not really a tank at the moment, and I do have a gem guide. So, if you want to look a little bit more into all the different gems, you can actually take a look through my YouTube videos and see that I do have a gem guide talking about every single gem and where they'd probably be most useful. Uh, we have launch times. There we go, Bourbon Dad. Thank you for posting the launch times. 8 a.m. Eastern is when we will be starting our stream, in our 14-hour stream, probably a little bit earlier, 7:30 a.m. just in case they start early. By the way, if you guys didn't know, in the past they've started these servers early. It's been a couple times in the past. Don't get your hopes up, but during the open beta, during the closed beta, they started these servers, like I said, 30 to about an hour, 30 probably to 60 minutes early, I'd say. So that could definitely happen. I would assume it doesn't happen that early, but it's definitely something they've done in the past. What servers to join in EU? So Vadi, that is going to be dependent on what you're looking for. Obviously, PvP, PvE. I don't know anything about EU servers just because I'm in the US, so I haven't actually looked into any of the PvP or PvE servers in the EU. So you may want to look around on Reddit or something to see if you can find more information on that. I'm sure they've got some things down, but it also depends if you want to be in a streamer server. If you don't, most people do not, but it's up to you. Do you recommend light armor for the percent bonus damage for the rapier fire staff build and mobility? Uh, do I recommend light armor? So the big thing is that percent bonus damage. People have gone over the numbers. It's actually not too crazy. So the difference between that 20% you get with light and the 10% you get with medium is really not big enough to make a difference. So in my opinion, I would stick, to be honest, with the medium armor when you're about level 30, level 40, level 50, because with the dexterity build at the very, very least, I guess you're talking about an intelligence build, but I would still, like I said, I would still stick with medium just because the difference in movement is not too big, and the amount if you can tank with being a medium armor over light armor is just much, much bigger than that 10% damage difference. So, like I said, I would stick with medium armor when you get to about level 30, level 40, unless you want to die pretty quickly in PvP, because some of these people that have shots with the musket can burn you pretty dang quickly. If you have like 3 or 4 muskets that just shoot you once with the burn, you are probably going to burn out. So definitely something to keep in mind. I think light armor in the beginning of the game is something I'll run, and a lot of people are running just to level up faster because you do have that dodge roll. But like I said, level 30, level 40, you pretty much need to switch to medium for the most part. You could probably get away with light if you're, doing a solid job at kind of kiting, but just something to keep in mind. US East, please. What are you talking about? Speaking facts. US East is a great server, obviously, or sorry, great region, as I'm the one in that region as well. But for the most part, I don't know where I'm going quite yet. So our company's still deciding on that. So I won't be able to tell you exactly what's the best server to go or anything. But what's the fastest way to level early game? So I have a bunch of different guides on that, and I'm gonna think I have another one even coming out later tonight. But the fastest way to level obviously is going to be all about going with that most efficient kind of weapon, which is typically the hatchet. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be running hatchet. I don't care to lose a couple minutes. That's fine by me. I will be running my rapier and bow, which is still a solid option. But going hatchet is a great start. Also, going light armor to get the rolls is a great start. Picking up some water along the way so you can stack that on top of food for some quick heals is a great start if you're going solo and don't have maybe a life staff to help you out. So there's a couple different ways to really make sure you go through the game at a decent pace. If you're looking for maybe more of a late game kind of start, you're going to want to start gathering as well. But if you're looking to just level up very, very quickly, get your mastery on all the weapons up, you're going to want to stay PvP flagged to get that 10% bonus and just, take some fights. I think that's the most fun way, and it's actually the fastest if you're good at PvP to, be PvP flagged. So keep that in mind. Hello, thanks for the video. Any idea when we get news on any updates at launch? So we have patch notes coming, I believe at 2 a.m. Eastern. So that's when you can start getting some ideas on launch, and where I guess some of those weapons are getting buffed, some of them are getting nerfs. But we'll see what happens with expansions in the future. That's going to be something we'll have to take a look at. Hey, speaking facts, thank you for the $5 donation. If that's coming through now, there it goes. How do you adjust your stat points as you level rapier, musket, so you have enough dex and con? So how do you adjust your stat points as level rapier and musket so you have enough dex and con? So what I do personally is the first 50 constitution points are very, very important because they buff your consumables quite a bit, and it's going to help you actually survive some of these early PvE content, whether it's on your own or with player or other people that you play with. But the biggest thing is to get that 50 constitution, about 50 dexterity. From there, you can start going more of a glass cannon if you want, meaning just less constitution and more dexterity. So I would get 50 of both. And from there, like I said, I will personally be going about 100 dex, 50 con, maybe even 150 dex, 50 con, and continuing on that glass cannon build just because I have so much fun in PvP doing that. But the important thing, like I said, is to get about 50 constitution for sure, and go from there and continue on with that dexterity until you find a sweet, a kind of a sweet spot. Hey, thank you for following Slow. I appreciate it. Cheese, thank you for subscribing to the YouTube channel. And Hit HR Hanson. I'm not sure exactly what you're going there for there, but thank you for following on Twitch as well. And speaking facts, thank you again for that super chat of $5. I appreciate it, man. Let me get back to some of these comments. I don't want to miss anyone. Hey, graphic. I'm so sorry this has been asked. What made you switch from Fire Staff Rapier to Rapier Bow? I'm Rapier and Ice Gallant at the moment. Rapier and Ice Gallant is a very, very cool build if you're going the correct passives and everything. Obviously, there's no correct passives. If you want to go a certain build, you go a certain build, but there are certain, passives that are going to make that Ice Gauntlet Rapier insanely, insanely strong. The switch that really made me switch is, to be honest, that level 60 bow, the 20 mastery on the bow. You can three-shot players if you have a great aim, and the mobility is absolutely insane. The rapier and bow as a combo in duels is also one of the strongest combos out there. I'm going to have a video on that. Of course, I have tons of videos coming out, so if you guys haven't already, make sure to like the video, subscribe to this channel, and follow me on Twitch as well, as that's linked down in the video as well. So, like I said, there's great opportunities on both sides of really Fire Staff Rapier and Rapier Bow because of the mobility on both and the damage on both. I just kind of like the bow right now, and I'm not sure why. I'll probably get a little bit bored with the bow and switch to Fire Staff. I think it's important to have about 3 weapons that you're going to jump into, just because you have to remember that you're always going to want to switch things up just a little bit, right? So the big thing I'm thinking is swapping back and forth between bow and Fire Staff throughout this leveling process is going to be something for me at the very least. I like having about 3 weapons to swap back and forth that kind of mix together fairly well. So obviously, I like the assassin or kiting kind of build. Um, it's Mr. Hanson for you. But that's pretty much why I kind of made the change myself. But we'll see what happens. Things might change down the line. Hey, graphic, what attribute distribution would you suggest for Fire Staff, Ice Gauntlet, and what armor to use? Is light armor too squishy? So light armor, like I said earlier to most of the people here, is going to be a little bit too squishy. I like the idea of medium once you're about level 30 or level 40. Hey, Higzilla, thank you for following the Twitch channel. I appreciate it, my man. But like I said, medium armor is going to be pretty much necessary so you do not get pretty much one shot. You can see here right now I'm getting sniped by people across the way here on the fort by muskets. Muskets are very, very easy to shoot from far away compared to bows. So they're going to hit a lot of their shots. As you see here, I'm missing all my shots, but from across the way you can get hit by burn, and they do a lot of damage. You are going to want that physical and elemental resistance. So I guess long story short, I would stake what I'm going to be doing personally is light armor until yeah, like I said, I'm going to be going personally light armor until about level 25, level 30. Then I'll be switching to medium just so I don't get one shot. As you can see here, I'm taking a ton of damage as light armor. They had recent changes to the armor as well. So medium armor is going to be the way to go. And then about 50 constitution, and then the rest in intelligence would be a solid start until about 150 intelligence, or find a threshold that makes sense to you and just kind of balance it out from there. But the big important thing is going to be getting that 50 constitution, so you have consumables that are actually healing you more than you know other people, is going to put you at an advantage in PvE and PvP. Why is it important to level the Azoth staff? Because the Azoth staff, if you level that, which by the way is the main quest, so you might as well, you're going to do it anyway. Um, the big thing to note there, Lowly Flax, is that The Azoth staff helps you do corrupted portals, right? So if you want to do a tier 2 or tier 3 corrupted portal, or a 45, I should say, or 55 corrupted portal, uh, you're going to have a higher level Azoth staff to actually complete it. So it's very, very important for late game if you want to do Azoth staff, or sorry, corrupted portals, and get some of those resources that'll help you do dungeons, or craft those keys. So very, very useful late game. Hey, Ferge, thanks for helping out, man. I appreciate you helping out the people that don't know as much. Obviously, Ferge has been one of those guys. If you guys are in the Twitch chat, that's been around for a while, so he's able to help you guys out. Um, what would you recommend someone in Asia to do? I have 165 ping, which is the lowest option I have from all servers. So honestly, if you're in Asia, you just take the best you can get, unfortunately, at the moment. So 165 ping, which is the lowest option, that's the one you go for, in my opinion. I would take the lowest option any day of the week. I've played on 150. It wasn't terrible, terrible. You obviously had a little bit of glitching every once in a while, but 165, not too much worse than that. You'll be able to, play the game just fine. It's just certain situations you're going to have to learn how to play with that ping. Unfortunately, I wish they did give you guys servers. Hey, Zach Simply, thank you for following on Twitch. I appreciate it, man. Once you click activate in the Twitch drop page, press F5, it said activate again. That stays activated anyways. I would assume so, man. I've done the same thing. I didn't take a look back, but yeah, I would say you're activated there. I'm not sure why it's not going yet. Maybe because the servers are just not live yet, and they're maybe you'll have to do it once the servers are live for you. Move away from Asia. I have space for you here. Yeah, there you go. Move away from Asia, and you'll have a little bit better ping. But yeah, it's unfortunate. I wish they could have servers everywhere. I'm not sure why they don't. Maybe in the future, but for now, it looks like this is what we're with. Are dungeon keys one-time use? Hey, Tanya, thank you for coming back to the channel. Yeah, dungeon keys are one-time use, if you guys don't know, and you actually have to craft them to use them. You can actually not trade them. You can't sell them. So keep that in mind. If you have a buddy that's a crafter, it's going to be great because they're going to be able to craft you all of those keys and go into the dungeon with you. So you're going to want to be friends with crafters and gatherers in this game, not just for the keys, but just for weapons, gear, and just really everything. Everything is needed. Late game potions are going to be a big deal. You're going to want a bunch of different potions. You're going to want a bunch of different kinds of food. So crafters are going to have a heck of a time in this game trying to keep up with all the, all of those beggars, or really just making a ton of gold on the market as well. That's something they could do. So I've been watching all the hype from everybody across all YouTube and Twitch. What servers I have noticed that Olympus is one to stay away from because of my lovely WoW player Asmongold. Um, Personally, what are you doing? So Zach, I'm actually I'm kind of staying away as well. I'm staying away from all streamer servers, trying to stay away from the main PvP server, which is going to be um, well, we talked about it a couple times, not Olympus, but the other I can't even think of what it's called, Valhalla. And so that's one thing to keep in mind is I don't know exactly what server I'm going yet. My company's still looking across and trying to find us the best, most balanced, competitive one that isn't Valhalla, isn't Olympus. So we'll see what happens, and I'll definitely keep you guys up to date there. Do you think 90 ping is bad? 90 ping is not great, but it's no, it's playable. It's just if you're looking to be the best of the best, 90 ping is kind of rough in my opinion. But if you're looking to just do, Zerg versus Zergs, maybe wars, outpost rush, you're gonna have a fine time. It's just if you're looking to be the best duelist in the game, it's gonna be hard to iframe everything. I mean, you can get used to that lag. You can get not really lag, I guess. You can get used to that ping of 90 ping. So no, I don't think it's the end of the world, but like I said, it does put you at a little bit of a disadvantage if you can't figure it out too quickly. You used to be able to reset your cooldown with Ice Gauntlet using a different weapon if it was cold damage. Yes, that was unbelievable. What's up? What's up? I did not know about that until recently. So I did hear that. I don't know if that's still in the game. I hope it's not. I think it's a cool kind of idea, but too strong because they didn't really prepare for that. So I like the idea of maybe equipping an ice gem, and because of that, you can get the reset. It's like I said, I like the idea, but since they didn't really prepare for that, it shouldn't probably be in the game. Are you expecting a fire staff buff in the patch notes? I would assume that nothing is really getting buffed. I think everything is very, very strong right now. If anything is getting a buff, uh, I'd be kind of surprised. I think if anything is getting a nerf, it would probably be life staff, and I hope it's life staff because we all know, like I said, life staff is in too strong of a state at this moment, in my opinion. What should you stay away from Olympus and Valhalla? Or sorry, why should you stay away? So Valhalla is going to be a main PvP server, which is maybe a good thing for some people. I like PvP. I like competition. That's the main reason I'm playing this game is just for the just balance of factions and just great competition. But the one thing to keep in mind with Valhalla is it's all PvPers. So when you walk out of a town, you're not going to find anyone gathering, crafting, most likely. You're going to find a ton of people PvP flagged, which is cool. But at the same time, you don't always want Zerg versus Zerg. You can see here, me and Padmes have a chance against a 2v7. In Valhalla, I'm thinking you're not going to be seeing 2v7s even. You're going to be seeing 2v10s or 2v8s constantly. And, it's fun sometimes to try things out, but you want some even 1v1s or 2v2s to find out in the open world as well. So I like a nice little balance. I'm okay with not the crazy queue time server issues that'll come with launch as well. That I would assume would come with Valhalla and, like I said, Olympus. Olympus is just a streamer server that Asmongold is playing on, so there's just a great reason to stay away from that one. Nothing against Asmongold, but like I said, just a streamer server is not something I want to be on. Queues will be 10 hours long. I don't think queues will be 10 hours long. I think they'll be a little bit longer in certain servers. Maybe Valhalla and Olympus being close to a couple hours, maybe 2 to 3 hours. I think we are not going to see, 10-hour long queues. I can only hope not. But I think a lot of people will just leave their games on. So hopefully they have a way to combat that so we can get new players switched in and out very quickly. Because one thing in the past that people would do, obviously, is just sit in town with their game running, or maybe even auto running on so that they don't die. They'll just keep moving around just a little bit, so they can, like I said, keep stay in the game and not have to re-queue up. Hey, thank you guys for following on Twitch. Soken and I+1, thank you for the follows. I appreciate it. You guys are absolutely killing it with the support. And like I said, guys, I'll say it real quick and then we'll jump more into these comments. If you haven't already, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're on YouTube. If you're on Twitch, make sure to follow the Twitch channel. And if you haven't already, you have Twitch Prime, might as well use it. It's free to use, and we're going to be streaming on this channel the next couple of weeks, very very in detail and in depth, with PvP builds, pretty much everything we're going to be doing. So, like I said, make sure to support the channel if you guys could. Fire Staff and Sword Shield. Okay, that's solid. Yeah. I was on a streamer server and it was 3 hours to get in. Yeah, Olympus is going to be a problem to get in for sure. I think, like I said, Valhalla is going to be a problem as well. We'll see what happens though with those servers. Obviously, the names are bringing and attracting a lot of people as well. Are we getting drops from bosses and that kind of stuff, or is there no such thing? Uh, are you getting drops from bosses? So yeah, you get drops from bosses. Like, if you can think of dungeons and you know PVE arenas, there's a lot of different bosses that drop loot, and actually there's open world bosses that you can get great loot from. I got a hardy heart, I believe, down in what was it, down in first, no, not first light, it was Cutlass Keys. It was a hardy heart called, and it was kind of an elite area, and there was an elite boss, and we killed it, and I got a hardy heart, like I said, a couple times, and it's a tier 4 purple amulet that gave me like plus 17 constitution, which is just absolutely insane. I think I was like level maybe 40ish at the time, so very, very strong amulet either way. And like I said, there's a great loot drops from a lot of these open world bosses, as well as dungeons and PvE arenas. And, Outpost Rush has some of the strongest gear in the game. So that's going to be a fun kind of aspect once you get to level 60 to start, playing PvP and actually getting rewarded for it, that everyone always talks about. I'm so excited. I think we're all so excited. That's why everyone's in here. We are all so excited. I think this game is going to do absolutely fantastic. Um, and I just can't wait for launch. I think we're all very, very, very excited. I'll be heading to bed early tonight, and then waking up bright and early. Hopefully, streaming to all of you fine people, and hopefully we can do this adventure together and talk about it the whole way through. I think, like I said a couple times, it doesn't matter what server you're in. We're all gonna have the same kind of experiences. Some may be better than others, just slightly. But like I said, for the most part, we're gonna have the same experiences, be able to talk about the same kind of things, and it'll just be fun. All the build guides will be working for every server. PvP is going to be kind of relevant on every server. Different kind of meta builds, and I don't know, just a lot of cool things to come. Thank you so much for the information that you're providing us. You are the king. Thank you. Hey, Kiro, thank you for, like I said, following the channel. I appreciate it, man. Do you know how long we can walk away from computer once we log in, not wanting to get kicked for AFK while having dinner? Thanks. Yeah, that's something that I'm very curious about as well, because if it's too short, we're going to have people kind of cheating the system by, running in circles or something. But if it's too long, we also will have, situations there where, uh, we're not getting anybody switched on and off of the server because people are not logging out because they don't want to get back into that queue time. Oh, your stream froze. I don't know if I answered yours, Symph. Let me go back up and see if I can answer yours. Um, pass on that. I don't know if you say anything else besides pass on that. Hey, Simp, if you have a question, just repost it and I'll try to get to you. How long does it take to reach level 40 in hours? What do you think, Graphic? It depends if you're going for a straight just, grind or not. They did change town board projects recently, but they did buff PvP from 5% of an increase to 10% of an increase when you have it flagged. But, realistically, I'm thinking, I can't even give you an honest opinion there. I would like to say about 120 for level 40. Ferge, what do you think it takes to get to about level 40? Or somebody else that's experienced, let me know what you guys think it is from level 1 to 40. How many hours? I was going to say 120, but that's way too long in my opinion now I'm thinking about it. Um, I'm curious if you run it, perfectly and you're doing everything in order. We'll have to see some of their answers as well. Are there more players per server than in the beta? Are there more players per server than in the beta? So no, they're actually, I looked at a recent tweet from them. It was a tweet reply from a little while back, but they did say over 1,000 players per server, which is not very much at all. I would assume they scale that over time. But yeah, starting with 1,000 players per server, so it's not going to be too many people. It's probably about what open beta was. So don't expect players to be everywhere, but at the same time they are going to be everywhere because we're all starting right at the same time. So Windsward, Everfall, they're going to be stacked with people. But once we have people that have time to get to level 45, 50, and they're going to some of those areas in the top or northeast, northwest, like Ebonscale Reach and Reekwater, it's going to be feeling a little bit more. I wouldn't say empty, but close to it. Just if we only have 1,000 players, so I'm hoping they up that up and we see more players per server. 1 to 40, definitely like 50 to 60 hours. That's probably a lot more accurate. 40 to 60 hours. See, okay, so we have a couple people saying 40 to 60 hours, 50 to 60 hours. I would agree with that. When I said 120, I think that is including me sitting in the main menu. I was going based off of my closed beta gameplay. I had like 140-ish, and I was like level 56. So if you think about 140, 150, so that sounds about right. Probably 40 to 60 hours to get there. But that's including the old way of things with town projects. We haven't had a ton of people testing the leveling process since then to about 50 to 60. Well, we'll see how it goes. I think, like they said, for the most part, 40 to 60 hours probably gets you there. Took Zephyr 3 days playing 16 hours a day, and he has a good guide if people are interested. Yeah. So the other thing is what server? Okay, so yeah, what server I'm playing on? I'm actually not telling people what server I'm playing on quite yet, just because I am. Yeah, I'm trying to hide that a little bit, just because we're trying to avoid certain people, certain kinds of groups, and we want as balanced PvP, competitive, faction balance as much as we can get. So we're trying to wait until last second on the server to really kind of give everyone the server name and everything. Um, hey, Grats Woot, thank you for subscribing to the YouTube channel. I appreciate it. If you guys haven't already, by the way, we have a YouTube channel as well as a Twitch channel, so you guys can subscribe on either one. And they're obviously both free. And then if you have Twitch Prime, you can also use that for free as well. There's going to be a ton of different, like I said, new things to take a look at. New weapons on release? No, I do not think there's going to be any new weapons on release. There's too much that they're, kind of working on recently. In my opinion, new weapons will not be on a release. I think that's going to be 2 to 3 months out, probably. You've seen people reaching 1 through 20 in like 4 hours. Uh, that's very impressive. I think, well, it's Stonks and Chill. He has a rerun of him, I think, reaching 1 through 25 in about 13. So that probably is on target. Or I think it was 11 hours. I'm not exactly sure what he had there. Non-meta build, did you enjoy the most? So what non-meta build? I think the Warhammer is probably the most fun weapon, and I wouldn't call that meta exactly. I think it's a weapon that you can use pretty much anywhere. So it's hard to justify it as a non-meta, but Warhammer is definitely one of the most fun weapons to use if you can actually have fun with it yourself. The abilities like Path of Destiny, the other stun, I'm not sure what the other stun's called. Path of Destiny though, and the other stun, and then the Mighty Gavel. Just a trio build that I've made on the in the past, a video I made. It's just a very very fun build. A lot of CC. The auto range is very 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 far that you can get with the heavy attacks as well as light attacks. Um, there's just a lot of positives when it comes down to the Warhammer in CC, and Great Axe is one that's very very strong as well. You see that Gravwell. We put 4 in a Gravwell for us. Unfortunately, I got stunned, CC'd out of my burnout right through him. But you can see that there's a couple different weapons that are just very, very strong, and a lot of people are curious on Are they going to make balance changes to some of these weapons, like life staff? As you can see, this guy's just healing his butt off, and we're chasing him. We just cannot kill him. Finally, we get him. And by the way, he's level 31. We're level 42, doubling him up, and we can barely get him with the the hatchet, even though he had the debuff on him. What are your experiences on faction population? Fairly equal or not? So faction population, pretty much every single time, yellow is the least dominant just because they have less players. So if you're looking for constant PvP, yellow might be the way to go. In my experience, Syndicate's going to be probably the most popular, not by too much though. And then you're going to have Marauders. I'm probably going to be ending up going Marauders. I'm not positive on that, but that's the way the company is kind of leading right now. So you may be seeing a lot of green. What do you think of the musket as a weapon? Is the damage good compared to the others? I think musket's a great weapon. It has its kind of perks and it has its disadvantages. Obviously, you know, there's only so many useful abilities, right? The traps are only so useful. I don't love the musket because there's not much mobility, but you are going to see just massive amount of damage that the musket does if you can get to level 60 and get that 20 mastery musket and just be hitting people in the head from so far away. The hit scan on that just very easy to hit. So in comparison to the bow, you're going to be able to put out probably more damage from farther range. However, when you get closer, you are going to have no mobility. It's easier to shut you down compared to a bow user. And bows scale just as hard, in my opinion. So bows are going to do absolutely crazy amounts of damage as well. See what else we have. We have a couple people asking a few questions. I'm confused as hell. How is it out? Oh, it's not out. So this is actually yeah, it is dropping tomorrow. 8 p.m. or sorry, 8 a.m. Eastern. It's going to be dropping tomorrow. We're going to be streaming it. This is just PvP gameplay, old PvP gameplay of the closed and open beta. We're just talking Q&As and different weapon combos and different things regarding New World. So that's pretty much what we're all hanging out in here, just getting so excited and hyped for the release. It is old gameplay from the open beta and closed beta. So sometimes you'll notice with just stamina, you can kind of notice if it's open or closed, and based on level as well. I never hit 42 on the open beta. I hit about 25. So this could be either one, but this is actually going to be closed beta as well. This is going to be kind of a 2v8 situation that we talked about. I have a couple videos on this one. Very fun 2v8. They chase us all the way down, and this is where you can see that musket come into play. A lot of damage, even at level 21. So very strong. What do you think would be the best weapon combo for CC? So CC is going to be the main way to actually stop healers from constantly healing, and it's about the only way to stop them right now because the healing reduction on the hatchet is just harder to hit, and it's not doing enough. So I think we're going to see a lot of hammers and great axes. Hammers, great axes being the strongest CC right now for groups of people with a couple obvious reasons, right? So um, we have the grab well, we have the pull on the great axe. We have the um, like I said, Path of Destiny on the hammer, and then we have the other stun on the hammer. I can never think of what it's called, but you can actually, like I said, keep people pretty stunned up there running those two weapons. And then if you have a couple people running those two weapons, I think that's going to be probably the meta for taking out some of those healers. But we'll see what happens there. Like I said, there's a lot of great options. Favorite snack and meal to buy in advance? Well, luckily I do have a wife and she's making some pretty awesome kind of snacks and meals for me. So we're pretty much good to go. We're not in the kids section yet, so no kids. So it's going to be very hardcore gaming for me. And she's had what not 2 years, probably a year and a half of understanding that this was going to be a huge day for me personally, or a huge week, I should say. So we're all in for sure. Yeah, I got excited when the game downloaded and launched. Yeah, I was excited too. Just getting into the menus, looking at some of the new settings, just very cool and exciting. I think we're all just, like I said, so excited about this launch altogether. Pre-downloaded it for my wife. I think her and her community is going Syndicate. That's funny that you're going different than her and her community, Ravage. It's interesting. How's the PvE campaign and PvE group content? Well, the PvE campaign, when you say campaign, there's really no campaign. There is PvE main quest. The main quest is great. I mean, it is a lot of running back and forth if you do not utilize fast travel. But for the most part, there's a lot to do on the way. If you're gathering, there's a lot to gather. If you're crafting, you can craft on the way. Obviously, going to some of these tents or going into town, and then also with side quests and faction missions, you can do a lot of different things along the way on the main quest. So I think overall the PvE side of things is fantastic right now. PvP side of things great. There's needs to be a little bit more added on both sides. but that's kind of obvious with any new release. You're going to need expansions. You're going to need new kind of things to really keep you guys interested when it comes to 6 to 9, 10, 12 months down the line. I could play this perfectly game right here on release for probably a good 12, honestly, a full year without any expansions, as long as they kept balancing and doing little bits and small tidbits of updates. So I expect, an expansion or kind of a big update, new weapons before that, new zones. We talked about some of the new zones coming and also some of the new weapons, but there's a lot that I already love about this game, and it's just going to add on to the excitement. Hey, Allbot, thank you for following on Twitch. I appreciate it, man. If you guys didn't know, by the way, like I said a couple times, I do have a YouTube as well as a Twitch. So if you guys follow me on both, you can make sure to not miss any live streams, as well as take advantage of seeing all the videos when they do come out. Hey, Dat Ninja Mo, thank you for following on Twitch. I appreciate it, man. So what else? Let's see what else we have. A settings update for pre-launch. Yeah, so there was some settings that changed, not too much though, Zach. We mostly saw that you can auto pin main quests as well as side quests as well as faction quests as well as town projects, and you can also have an auto pin for recipes. So there's some cool aspects there when it comes to the UI, kind of just small things that you can change up, and that's going to be in the gameplay tab if you want to take a look yourself. I do suggest, though, like I said earlier, if you guys have not already, definitely go into the settings of New World. Make sure you have the proper settings, because that's going to be something you don't want to mess with, once you load it up and start, or really are looking to play for the first time. So um, it's great to actually get into this game knowing that, our levels, our progress, our experience is all going to save this time around. And I think that's what we're probably all most excited for. Hey, Rev Crunch, thank you for, or Rev Crutch, thank you for following on Twitter. Or sorry, not Twitter. I said Twitter all day yesterday when we were streaming. Thank you for following on Twitch. I appreciate it, man. You think it'll come to console? I think it might come to console. I think it'll be a while before we see it on console, but yeah, I think it could come to console if it does well. I think it's all about if it does well, though. We're not going to see it come, obviously, if the population dies or tanks down. Unhollowed, thank you for following on Twitch. I appreciate it. IV Sacken, thank you for following on Twitch. You guys are killing it with the support. I really do appreciate it, guys. Hey, friend, I'm ready for tomorrow. I'm working and listening to the stream. That's perfect. That's exactly what, if you've seen the clips before, if you guys have been following the channel for a while, you've probably seen most of these clips anyway. So just listening and just getting hyped up about New World is exactly what I'm doing with your guys' chat. So as we kind of get hyped up together here, Ravenge75, thank you for following on Twitch. I appreciate it, man. You can see some of these PvP fights, though. Going all of these different builds was seeming to be all relevant, and they're all solid builds, because you can actually win. Going fire staff, musket, bow, rapier, they're all viable options, and I think that's one of the coolest things I love. I don't stream like she, so I have more options when I do get the game. Oh, okay, Ravage, that makes sense. I'm looking for a WoW replacement for a while now, and I think this is going to be it. I would say that this is going to be one of the best options for a WoW replacement. If you're looking to literally replace the game, um, this is a more, in my opinion, skill-based game than WoW. I know WoW has a different kind of skill, so I don't know if that's too accurate, but it's also a beginner-friendly game, right? So we have 6 abilities to really choose from per weapon, and that's nothing compared to what you have on WoW. Just have 6 abilities per weapon would be unbelievable on WoW. So just something to keep in mind there as well. So it's kind of an easy game to kind of get yourself into, but it does take a little bit to actually max out your skill potential there. So something to keep in mind, like I said. Hey, Cannon Beard, thank you for following. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing your guys' name right on Twitch, but thank you for following on Twitch. I appreciate it. I love it, Ferg. You're on YouTube and Twitch, watching both streams. Unless you switch back over. Thanks for, like I said, keep answering those people's questions. I know there's a lot of questions out there. I'm trying to get to them all, but let's see what else we have. What's new and different about New World in comparison to other MMOs? So, what's new and different about New World? Well, gathering and crafting is relevant level 60. That's something you don't see in most MMOs. Also, something to keep in mind is there's territory upgrades and there's control of settlements. So, one thing that you don't see in other really games is territory control, and you benefit from it. You obviously continue to upgrade. So, if you have a good company, that's probably going to be the most way or most fun way to play this game, is having a not even a good company, but a decent company, to where you guys can compete for territory control, where you can craft and have a good time gathering with the people, because every company has crafters and gatherers. Every company has PvEers, PvPers, and so you have a way of finding so many different players in this game. In previous games, everyone plays kind of the same concepts. There's maybe a competitive player base, and then there's um, for the most part, no crafters and gatherers because it's not relevant late game. I think in this game, like I said, you're going to have a lot of PvEers, PvPers, and crafters and gatherers. And, in my opinion, PvE and crafting and gathering is a little bit different. They're two different kind of categories. So it's going to be a lot of exciting things to look into. Hey, Vortrust, thank you for following on Twitch. I appreciate it, man. You've been playing World of Warcraft since '04 when I was rated or 5 rated with my pops. Wow, that's crazy. And it's been going downhill. Yeah, MMOs slowly do, lose you lose their touch, right? I think that's going to happen with New World at some point. I hope it never happens, but at some point it's going to happen. We're going to see it maybe 15 years from now. Hopefully, like WoW, have that huge, huge lifespan. Bernardo, thank you for subscribing to the channel on YouTube. I appreciate it. No servers are up yet. EU is first at 8 a.m. CEST. That is correct. This is just old VOD gameplay, old PvP gameplay. Just a bunch of random gameplay, for the most part, using the fire staff, the bow, the rapier, and the musket. Yeah, if you look up server launch times, there is a map that tells you exactly when your servers are going to be live. New World is definitely going to be breath of fresh air for all MMO refugees. That's definitely true. I think we're going to see a lot of people, very excited about finally having a new MMO. It's been so long since we've actually had a real, true MMO come into this genre, and New World's taken their step in. We'll see how it goes. I think it's already doing so much better than better than anticipated. We all saw people complaining about this game for a couple of years now, but for the most part, it's got the biggest potential player base wise and just content wise than we've seen in quite a while. Eugenio, thank you for subscribing to the channel on YouTube, and Always Gaming, thank you for following on Twitch. I appreciate all the follows, guys, on Twitch and YouTube. And like I said, if you have Twitch Prime as well, you can also, like I said, use that Twitch Prime on Twitch for free. So it's actually a free usage there. If you're not going to use it anywhere else, might as well. If you are going to use it somewhere else, that's perfectly fine as well. I do appreciate the free support as well. What's your favorite weapon combo? So my favorite weapon combo right now is probably going to be the rapier bow, just because of the insane amount of kiting you can do and the amount of skill that it comes into play when you're trying to use the bow. Right? It's not an easy musket shot, in my opinion. I don't think muskets, impossible to use or too easy to use either. I think muskets got some weaknesses that make it harder to use than bow because you don't have that free mobility. You have to use traps or you have to use the sticky bomb or a bunch of different options there. But realistically, like I said, the bow is one of the hardest to use weapons in the game because of the aim and because it's actually very, very dodgeable by most players on the opposing side. So there's just a couple things to keep in mind. But the fire staff and the rapier is definitely something I love using in 2vx or 3vx gameplay as well, because it's just one as well that you have so much mobility, so much burst damage potential, and you have, like I said, mobility is a big thing that I always have to have in this game. That's why I kind of strayed away from the musket personally, just because I myself need I need an escape. I go in too hot to not have an escape like the musket. Yeah, true. At least something new, better than anticipated. Also, yeah, Geo, it's definitely better than anticipated for sure. Hey, Nightmare33, thank you for following on Twitch. I appreciate it. I play the exact same. Rapier and bow, can't fault it in my opinion. Yeah, rapier bow is very, very fun. I think it does not do enough damage early game, but that's perfectly fine because it makes up for it in damage by far late game. But yeah, like I said, early game it does seem to struggle, definitely against people that are going maybe heavy armor or maybe going a great axe, hatchet, or even sword and shield, just because they can block everything with their shield. No groups, but there is a recruitment tab in global chat that's easy to use. Yeah, so if you jump into a server and don't already have a company, that's perfectly fine because you can find one very, very easily through the chat. So there's going to be a recruitment tab that there'll be tons of companies recruiting new players. And, there's plenty of ways to find new companies. And you can always join the company that's winning or, has control of a territory in your faction just because you know that they're probably an organized company. I'm going Fire Staff Ice Gauntlet. Yeah, I think the mage side of things is going to be very, very strong. We definitely have seen a lot of people going Fire Staff Ice Gauntlet. In one of these PvP clips, I actually play against a guy. He almost takes me out. He's about 4 or 5 levels lower than me in that closed beta. So the PvP skilling was there, but it's a strong build for sure. I've tested it a little bit myself. I like the Ice Gauntlet quite a bit. So we'll see what comes with that. But like I said, Fire Staff Ice Gauntlet going to be one of the big builds that I think is underrated right now. I think Ice Gauntlet itself is just so strong. Paired with something like Fire Staff, that's pretty strong as well. I think that's going to be a strong, strong choice. Oh, okay. Look, it's the greatest player. Let's go, graphic. Joe Harris, definitely not the greatest player, but you guys are the greatest viewers, so I do appreciate it, guys. Thank you for tuning in. I thought I knew what I wanted to run, but damn, everything looks so much fun. Tanth, that's definitely the problem a lot of us are having. Is every combo looks fun, right? As long as your combo kind of works together and kind of benefits from each other, it doesn't matter what you go because just getting progress in a couple of different weapons is going to be good. So if you run sword and shield and you run hatchet to level 8 mastery and you don't end up liking it as much, you can always swap back to it later. So you can just swap away from those, come back, and you'll have that 8 mastery just sitting there waiting for you. So it's not like you're losing progress when you swap. It's not like you have to make a whole new character, change your class like other games. That's what makes this game of classless really weapons so great. I love the idea of classless system, and we're really seeing why this is one of the best ways to actually go about MMOs. Can you talk a bit about PvP counters, like weapon counters and weapon skill counters? So really, it's kind of hard because Hatchet's supposed to be a counter to Life Staff. I'm going to talk about Life Staff because the only way to counter Life Staff right now is mostly just CC. Make it so they cannot move. Make it so they cannot heal. So right now, the only way to counter Life Staff is the Hatchet debuff that stops healing a little bit, or kind of lowers healing. It's not strong enough. It's only with the hatchet and it's hard to hit, right? So it's definitely not the only weapon that needs to have it. We need to have more weapons with it. Um, but right now, like I said, the only way to really, really stop healing is through stunning that life staff user very, very heavily. So you're going to need a lot of or sorry, not a lot of axes, but you're going to need a lot of hammers. You're going to need a lot of great axes, and you're going to need to put them in a constant stun so that you can actually finally burst that user. I am going to see probably a lot of users running the heavy armor with life staff, and that's what they were trying to avoid. But it's still going to take place because of how tanky you are and how just reassuring that you are never going to die, how that really kind of works together there. It did not release today. We are actually seeing release tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. We're going to be there bright and early streaming. So if you guys have not already, make sure to follow the channel on Twitch and YouTube. Links down in the description of the Twitch and the YouTube so you can follow on both and make sure to be, tuning in for that release. How many weapons is it realistic to be able to get to 20 by the time you hit 60? Probably three. It depends what you're doing, right? So PvP gives you a lot more weapon mastery than just running around in PvE. However, if you're going to these elite mob zones or elite boss zones that you can get to, you could actually probably level up four. I'd say about four level 20 weapons is possible by level 60 if you are PvPing and if you are going to those elite mob areas. If you're not PvPing, not going to those elite mob areas, I would say three is realistic. You're not going to get much more than three for sure. Hey, thank you for following on Twitch, Balakane. I appreciate it, man. Did I see that EU is getting released at 11 p.m. 09/27? I believe somebody is. I don't know if it's EU. I think it is EU, but um, actually, no. I think 11 p.m. was. I don't think it's 11 p.m. I think it's 2 a.m. is when EU is released. So I'm not sure what you were looking at there, but EU is released at 2 a.m. Eastern time. Hey, SCC00. Thank you for following on Twitch. I appreciate it, man. Verge is absolutely doing God's work right now by linking all of the launch times on Reddit there. If you guys want to take a look, Verge has the link if you're on Twitch. Um, so you guys can click that link and see when those launch times really are. I'm really not a PvP. You're really not. Okay, went away from me there. I'm really not a PvP player. Is it worth it, guys? DJ, I'm telling you right now. You know, this game is not all PvP based at all. And, late game, you may run out of things to do as of now because there's not enough zones, there's not enough expeditions. It's going to take you quite a while. It's going to take you 300 to 400 hours, in my opinion, at the very, very least, to find out that you're maybe a little bit bored. And I think you're going to have a heck of a time. PvE players are going to have a heck of a time gathering, crafting, doing some of these expeditions and dungeons with your company. You don't have to be a PvP player at all to enjoy this game. That's one thing I really do like. It does come together for a lot of different players. PvE is something that like I said, is not needed. It's not necessary in this game. There's a lot of content regarding PvP, but there's also a ton of content regarding PvE. I do think that's going to take more than 300 to 400 hours to actually run out of content here just in PvE. So keep that in mind. I don't know why I said 300 to 400 hours in PvE. There's two level 60 dungeons, and it's going to take quite a grind to make sure you have the best in slot for every single war, every single duel, every single open world content, because there's so many different cool weapons out there. Whether it's through the Spriggan fights, either I just like I said, there's too much. I would say you're going to be very very safe to say this is a good PvE, not just PvP game. Graphic, found your channel from Albion. Great to see you playing this game. Hey, SEC. No problem. I used to play, a lot of Albion. I think Albion has some great concepts that I wish New World would take into consideration. Whether it's weapon mastery going higher than level 20, just giving us a small buff, right? I want to be seeing these weapons go up to the level 50, just so you don't have that feeling of wasted XP. So when I'm playing the Rapier right now, I'm level 20 on the Rapier mastery. I'm still playing it because I love the weapon, but it seems like kind of wasted XP, and that's something I don't love to see. It doesn't have to be a huge buff from level 20 to 50, so it's not a grind fest that everyone has to do, but it just needs to be a little bit of, that feeling that you're still getting something out of grinding with that weapon. So I would love to see 20 to 50. I would love to see something like Hellgates come into the game. Albion, like I said, has a lot of great things that New World could learn from or, add into the game later on. Hey, Joseph, thank you for subscribing to the channel, man. I appreciate it. I've always been a big PvEer, but the PvP looks so great in this game. I can't wait to roast some people and more likely get roasted. Yeah, I mean, the only way to learn, right, is to play and do that PvP content to get better at PvE, right? So that's the big thing to keep in mind. This is not a full loot drop game like Albion Online. That's something I didn't love about Albion Online is every time you died, you'd have to go re-equip every single weapon, buy every single weapon. It'd take a little while. It's just a useless kind of process there. With this game, you jump in, you go to PvP because there's nothing to lose, right? But you have everything to gain. So there's constant PvP fights when you want to look for them. You can go to a fort, contest it, go to the PvP missions areas. So there's just constant PvP to be had if you're looking for it, and that's one thing that, like I said, I love about the game. You can still get XP, weapon XP, as well as loot drops that are actually pretty solid depending on their level. So just a lot of cool kind of aspects there as well. Proximity chat going to be more toxic than COD chats. Yeah, I think proximity chats are going to be funny half the time and just toxic half the time. So I think I'm probably going to have it off since I am a Twitch streamer, or not a Twitch streamer, I guess, but a streamer in general. A lot of you guys, I would assume other streamers are going to have their proximity turned off just in case people say, vulgar things or whatever. But um, I think it's going to be a lot of fun for the typical gamer. There's going to be a lot of just trash talk, and if you're into that kind of just, you know, proximity chat, you can use it, and if you're not, you can turn it off. So why not have it in a game like this? Would be good if there's just minor damage increase for each level after mastery 20. I would agree, Connor. I think it should go at least to level 50, maybe even level 100. Just slight, like I said, literally slight damage increases all the way up to 100 or even 50. I will always do PvP unless I'm grinding and want to not be bothered. Yeah, that's the cool thing as well. Like I said, you can always turn it off. You just go to the settlement. If you have a quest that's pretty far away and you do not want to die on the way so you lose your spot, I know you can build a tent, but you don't always want to build a tent every 300 meters. So it's very, very cool that you can just turn it off when you want to, focus on grinding certain content, and then you can turn it on when you want to grind other content. It's very, very cool. I will be going full PvP, by the way, if you're watching my stream on release, full PvP the entire way to probably level 60 if possible. So if you guys want to see a lot of PvP, you're going to find it on the channel as well as obviously PvE as well, because PvE is the best way to get to better PvP weapons and PvP content. Wait, you don't lose anything if you PvP. No, you don't lose anything. So that's one thing that a lot of people hate, but I actually kind of have learned to love, right? So when you lose stuff with PvP, it stops people from running into fights. If you see a 1v2, why would you go for that 1v2 in most cases scenario? Because you're going to lose everything. You're going to not want to run in there. Right now, I will run into every single fight if it's a 1v2, 1v3, 1v4, as long as I think I have a small chance. It could be a 1 to 2% chance. I don't care. I'm running in. That's the mindset I want people to have, and they're going to have that mindset obviously a little bit more openly with knowing that they're not losing everything they own. Do I think there should be an area that's high stakes? Yes, I think there should be a zone that is high stakes where you do lose everything on death, and just PvPers can go there. You don't need PvEers to actually go there. You don't need to force people to go there. But just giving that kind of idea out there in general is, I think, a great idea. I love the idea of, like I said, that zone that's full PvP when you walk in, and when you walk out, you're out of that PvP, or just kind of some scenario like that would be very, very cool in my opinion. Looks like we've got some spammers in the YouTube. So let me ban that guy real quick, and then we'll be good. Whoops, I went to the wrong Firefox there. Um, Let me load up the YouTube stream and ban him real quick for you guys. There we go. And hide user on this channel. That'll work. All right, that should be good. And if you guys haven't already, by the way, before I get back to some of those comments, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn notifications on Twitch as well as YouTube. Obviously, we are going to be streaming. We're going to be talking about New World every single day. You guys are going to be playing, talking about New World every single day. It's a perfect match. Let's stay and stick together and, continue to keep this community growing. Did they add any new weapons? No, Big Rico, they did not add any new weapons. I don't think they're going to be adding any new weapons at release. I guess we don't really know that, but pretty certain that they are not adding new weapons. They could always shock us with a Void Gauntlet or a Dual Daggers, and if they do, um, I can already tell you guys, I would definitely be trying it out on the release day. Hey, Gillone, thank you for following on Twitch. I appreciate it. Is dumping G first 5 or jumping the first 50-ish points into con the strat for all weapons armor comps, or more so just light armor users? I would say getting 50 constitution is going to be very, very important for every user. If you're running with maybe groups of 3 or 5, you don't really need that constitution right away, so you could get away with going a little bit more damage in the beginning. But like I said, for pretty much anybody, I would suggest going 1-for-1 with whatever you want to go. So let's say you're going fire staff, ice gauntlet. I would say go, 1 intelligence for every 1 constitution until you hit 50 on both. And then from there, you want to just get away from just, 1-for-1, and you can go more damage based with intelligence. And you can, actually move up from 50 intelligence to 100 intelligence, not even touch your constitution if you don't want to. There's a lot of great options. Anyway, I can remove poison burns in, so on if hit. So Gilon, there is some debuff removal with life staff and a couple other different little options there, but for the most part, there is nothing. Depending on what weapon you're taking, there is some, like I said, some abilities. You'd have to let us know what weapon you're using. How many players can be on one server? So right now, it sounds like only 1,000 per, per server at a time, or around 1,000. But I think they are going to, kind of buff that up, as the server launch goes well. They don't want 4,000 per server and the launch to be terrible. They want a good launch, and a good way to do that is to make sure there's not too many people on your server. Gauntlet has a remove debuff. There you go. Yeah, Gauntlet does have a remove debuff. I didn't see what actually weapon he ended up saying. Yes, repairing armor and weapons require repair parts, which are easy to obtain. Verge, thank you. Continuing to answer questions. We might have to get a give you a mod at some point here. Ice Tome with Ice Gauntlet and Berserk with Hatchet. Yep, both of those will work. Hey, Shiv, thank you for following on Twitch. I appreciate it, man. It would be nice if they sold a manual for New World. That would be cool. I think they actually have those steel books. Might come with. I think they might just come with a map, but there isn't really a manual. That would be kind of cool, like the old days. I think they had those guides and books, booklets that people would buy. I think there is a good opportunity, for something like that though as well. 2 to 5K players for the server is, after a couple of days, I think they are going to, like I said, or hours, they're going to start moving that up from 1K to, like he said, 2 to 5K. Joshua, thank you for subscribing to the channel. Shiv, thank you for following, like I said, the channel, the Twitch stream. And then Etihad, thank you for following the Twitch stream. I appreciate it. Do you think in time they will introduce some ranked modes so that people will have something more to grind for? I hope so. I love the idea of ranked modes. I think they are going to have things like, they're going to have things like arenas. They've talked about that before already. And arenas are going to have, I would assume, some kind of rank system to them. We can only hope, right? I mean, there's no reason not to please both PvE and PvP players, so I would assume they do make a ranked mode if arenas doesn't have that for some reason. According to the Duelist, 2K to 5K. I'm not entirely sure. I did see a post or a tweet, a reply on a tweet that talked a little bit more in detail on that, and it said something about 1K to start, and so we'll see where it goes from there. But it does sound like 1K is going to be the initial, or around 1K at least, based on that tweet. When settlements won, I think they left me money on the table if they don't create one. I would oh, I'd buy one, I think they left I'm not sure what you're saying, Jason. If you'd say that again, I'll try to answer your question there. I'm pretty sure they will have sharding with lower pop servers if a server ends up being dead, so they can still get the XP. Yeah, they might do sharding. They might go a different couple, routes with it. With only 1K players, I'm not sure they really need to have sharding too intensely, but we'll see. Obviously, like I said, they'll probably raise that cap, like you said, up to 2 to 5K possibly. Hey, Seven, thank you for following the Twitch channel. I appreciate it. If you guys don't know, I am a streamer on Twitch as well as YouTube, so make sure to follow both channels, as at some point we are probably going to focus more on one rather than the other, and I want you guys to be able to stay up to date with this content no matter where we go. Zilch, thank you as well for subscribing, or not subscribing, but following the Twitch channel. I would buy a manual. I think the manual looked pretty sweet. I don't know if you guys got the steelbook, but I am going to get a steelbook, which I ordered a while back. It's been out of stock for quite some time. I think those look probably pretty sweet as well. Just to have it, might as well. I'm going to be playing this game for quite some time. Hey, Alex Trussell, thank you for subscribing to the channel on YouTube. I appreciate it. I would buy a manual. Yeah, I think a lot of people would. It's 1K, Jason. So yeah, 1K is the start for the servers. But yeah, 2 to 5K is what it could end up being. I think they are leaving the money on the table if they don't create a manual. Oh, yeah, possibly. I wanted a steelbook, but they were all gone. Yeah, unfortunately, I think a lot of people wanted a steelbook, but they sold those out probably like 6 to 8 months ago. It seems like. I just want to say thank you for your content, Zen. I just want to say thank you for continuing to like the content. Obviously, if you do like the content, I think I said content, but make sure to like the video. I do appreciate it. Are there server caps? So many servers, I'm afraid servers will die fast unless you pick a top 3 server. So that's the cool thing. They have server merges, right? So they have groups of servers that actually can merge into each other if one dies. So you don't want to be in a dead server because yours might merge into somebody else's server. You want to be the server that's looking well alive. So keep that in mind. But the big thing is like I said, you're never going to have a dead server really, unless the game itself dies because you're in a cluster. And so clusters, different worlds, or sorry, different servers in the same cluster can merge together if there's player population issues. What's good about buying a house? So Austin, thank you for tuning in. There's a couple good things about buying a house. The main thing is you're going to have a recall, right? So you're going to be able to recall to the house, and depending on the house you buy, it's going to be about 2.5 hours, 2 hours, or 3 hours. And so that's going to be very, very nice because if you don't know about this game, you're going to need to travel quite a bit. And the way to speed that up is by using Azoth to fast travel or by recalling to your inn. In this case, going to be recalling to your house instead. And you can also refresh that recall to the inn, or sorry, recall to the house by feeding it Azoth, and it's just a cheaper way than just traveling to that settlement. And you can also do so with full inventory, being high weight. Just like I said, a very very easy way to take advantage of that. You'll see in the game pretty quickly why there's reason to have a house. Also, like I said, there's 5 trophies. I don't think I actually mentioned the trophies, but there's 5 trophies you can have per house, and those will give you kind of buffs or benefits on Eternum as well. Austin, thank you for following on Twitch. I appreciate it. And yeah, you do get a huge discount for the first house you buy on New World. So keep that in mind, whatever your strategy may be. I got to take off. Thanks for the answers. Hey, Tan, thanks for tuning in again. And I appreciate the support, man. So, unpopular opinion, I'm getting 2 cheap houses and setting my inn to another location so I can have 3 fast travels. I think that's a popular opinion, Zach. I'm doing the exact same thing. I'm going to get the 3 cheapest houses, most likely upgrade later if I want to, but focusing on just getting the locations because the locations are going to speed everything up. Having a location in different territories going to save a lot of Azoth as well. Derek Twitch, thanks for following on Twitch. I appreciate it. Are you switching? Am I switching weapons all the time, or can we focus on leveling, favoriting a single combat style? I'm personally going to be switching between 4 different weapons: rapier, bow, fire staff, and not really 4 weapons, I guess, because I did kind of drop the musket just because it doesn't have much mobility. I like the musket, but not enough mobility. I like to get myself into those situations where I need mobility, I need to move around, or I'm just going to die. So myself personally, going fire staff, rapier, and bow, and I'm going to have my build on all 3 of those weapons, and what you should be really focused on kind of ability wise and passive wise in the future. So if you guys haven't already, make sure to subscribe on YouTube as well. I'm creating my character game in game right now. Okay. I don't know if I believe that, but Jason, that would be very, very cool if you were creating your character in game right now, because that would mean the servers are up. But yeah, I don't feel like that's true. What server are you on, Jason? When's this game go live, Taylor Sean? It goes live. Ferg actually posted it. You can check that out. That Reddit post there. Depends on what server you're at, and it'll tell you exactly what time your server will go live personally for you. I think I missed a couple of these comments earlier, so let me go up instead of going down here for once. Do you plan on using the Twitch Army feature in game? I didn't really look into the Twitch Army feature. I do want to look a little bit farther into that and see, more about how that works. But the big thing is probably not because of a couple different reasons. One, we're not going to be all on the same server. The reason for not being all on the same server is I want all of you guys to have honestly, a great experience. I want myself to have a great experience and an experience that you guys can relate to that aren't just on a streamer server. So I don't really want to make this a streamer server. I don't want to make it an unorganic server. I want it to be, balanced between factions. I want, competitive PvP and, PvE in reality is kind of competitive as well when it comes to some of these nodes out there, mining or I can even never say it, oraculum. There's so many great resources out there everyone wants to get to. So it can come be a little bit competitive when it comes to gathering. Is this PvP only any Trinity system? I'm not sure what that means, a Trinity system, but if you let me know what that means, I probably should know. I don't know what that means exactly, but you can switch any weapon anytime because, like I said, this is a classless game, which is a very, very cool concept. It's Albion Online. If you ever played Albion Online, it's kind of like that, where it's a classless system. You can go any weapon, switch at any point in time. Hey, Argon Sun, thank you for subscribing to YouTube. And Jacob is Toff, thank you for subscribing to YouTube as well. I appreciate it, guys. Like I said, you guys are killing it with the support. So, I do appreciate it. If you guys don't know, though, I do stream on both Twitch and YouTube, so you can check out both different areas or I guess platforms there. And make sure to follow me on both so you don't miss out on release. Like I said, we're going to be playing 8 a.m. bright and early. Probably starting the stream around 7:30. I'll probably schedule a stream on YouTube at the very least. I don't know if you can schedule a stream on Twitch, but if there is a possibility, I'll do that for sure. Jason, I know you've said you're creating your character in game right now. I just not gonna lie, don't really believe that. But if you could tell me what server, I'll check it out for you, and I'll see if if that's realistic. Oh, you okay? You said I just preloaded and it started game. It looked like it was going to let me create a character. Okay, so you didn't actually create the character. Good, good, good. I didn't scroll back down and read some of the chat. I'm scrolled back down so I can actually listen to some of these comments. Sorry, guys. I was a little bit in the middle of the chat for a second. This is a rerun of the closed beta and open beta, so you are seeing old PvP content. Not too much has changed in the weapons. Really, in the weapons have kind of stayed the same for the most part. You're seeing a little bit change on the stamina, though. The stamina comes back a little bit quicker, so you're going to see a lot more dodge rolls. Hey, Ash, thank you for subscribing to the YouTube channel. I appreciate it. What's the highest DPS weapon combination in your opinion? Highest DPS? Well, it depends if they're letting you attack them. If it's a target that's just standing still, Hatchet's got to be the one of the biggest. But if it's a target that's kind of moving around, not just letting you hack at them, Hatchet may not be the best, or sorry, highest DPS weapon. It's going to kind of depend. I think really Rapier attacks so fast. If you're behind them, hitting their back, Rapier is going to be another great option. If you're going 300 dexterity, that is. Honestly, all the weapons, if you scale correctly, going intelligence or going strength or going dexterity, you can do a lot of damage with. I think they did a great job with balance. And if you guys check out our PvP tier list that we did a while back, you're going to be able to see that that's exactly the truth. We have stuff in S to B tier, but nothing else. And we're going to try to mix that up a little bit more in the upcoming PvP tier list. We're going to try to use more, I guess, of the sections, right? We want to not just be all the way from B to S. We want to start using C and D as well if possible. We don't want to force it, but real gamers are up at 6 a.m. refreshing every 5 minutes. That's true. For some of those guys are going to be doing that. I'm sure you are as well. But uh, I just want to extend that gameplay as long as possible, so I don't want to be too burnt out just waiting. I probably will be waking up 6 a.m., but I'll be doing other stuff until about 7. I guess I can keep checking in case. But on beta, I was stuck on level 25. The main quest didn't go farther. So I'm guessing you were stuck on the Amarine excavation quest where you had to do the dungeon, because that's where people get stuck typically if you don't find a good group with a healer and a tank and enough DPS. Lanky Lion, thank you for following on Twitch. I appreciate it, man. I can get all my settings squared away. Yes, that's the cool thing, Jason, is everybody, if you haven't already, definitely jump into the game if you haven't pre-downloaded and just play around with your settings. Make sure that's the settings you're going to want. Obviously, you can't really test them in game yet, but you can at least look around and make sure they're settings that make sense to you and settings that sound at least good. Bro, what's your favorite weapon? My favorite weapon's definitely going to be the rapier. Rapier is going to be my favorite weapon. You'll see that in every single clip. I'm going rapier, fire staff, rapier, bow, and then also you'll see a little bit of gameplay with the rapier and musket, but I won't probably be playing much musket in the game. I won't be sleeping. I have to work. Oh, PvP is flagged by choice. Yeah, so PvP is all about you flagging up. By choice. It's not going to be you ever forced into PvP, which is a good thing for the most part. Some people probably don't love it, but um, I like the idea of this is going to attract more gamers in general, just because you aren't being forced to PvE or sorry PvP. Shield Bash is very, very strong. Into Hatchet Pharaoh Rush in the back causes a 2-second immobilize Loki OP dual build. Yeah, dual bash or sorry, Shield Bash in general is very, very strong with the a couple different builds just because you're gonna have the execute on the Great Axe. Anything that just does a ton of damage with that Shield Bash because the Shield Bash is so long is very, very strong in duels. No, I had to kill the boss thingy. He didn't show, and when he did, someone just kills it before I did anything. Oh, that's tough, James. So I guess you would have to wait there for quite some time to make sure you got that quest finished. That is kind of tough. Opal is pretty good. Yeah, Opal is actually one of those Verge that I take in pretty much every build because there's never a time that you have full stamina for the most part, right? If you're utilizing your mobility on your build to either get closer or farther away, which you should almost always be doing, um, Opal is going to be one of the strongest choices for sure. I liked Rapier, but I saw a tier list video and it was bottom 2 with Spear. You agree with that or no? So Austin, I was actually the one who made that PvP tier list. And the only reason I have Rapier that low, right, is because it's not good in Wars, because it doesn't have AoE damage besides the flesh. It doesn't have a great spot because Wars are all about taking the life staff users out. You need to take those life staff users out. You unfortunately can't just DPS straight through the heals. So what you're going to need is CC. Rapier, does it have any CC? No. The answer is no. It has no CC besides the riposte. Life staff users, for the most part, are not going to just sit there and auto a riposted Rapier user. So that's something to keep in mind. That's why it's probably on the B list. I still think the weapon's amazing for open world. I think the weapon has maybe even a spot in Outpost Rush, but does it have a spot in War? At the moment, it's not the strongest spot at the very, very least. So every other weapon has a great spot in War. How do you heal for 2.5k in those clips? Um, Maybe this is closed beta. Let me see if I'm healing for 2.5k in this one. In closed beta, you do heal a little bit more. They nerfed open beta's pots just a little bit. So the percentage, I believe, percentage health wise, it went down. That's just one thing to keep in mind. So if these clips are a little older, they'll probably heal a little bit more. But also, the higher level you get, the more health you're going to heal based on that, higher tier health pots or health potions. In PvP setting, is mobility better than tanking? Um, in a PvP setting, mobility better than tanking. So, well, it depends what you're doing. Obviously, if you're running sword and shield, you're going to want to be as tanky as possible. So, going medium or heavy is definitely the option. If you're going DPS, you're going to want to be light or medium. You're probably not going to want to DPS ever as a heavy unless you're in war because it's going to be hard to get to people. In war, they have to stand on points, so they're kind of forced to be in your way. And that's why heavy is used quite a bit in wars. Uh, oh, so it's health bots. Yeah, so it's health bots that's healing me 2.4k. Yep. Is this beta? Yeah, this is open and closed beta. We're just going through some of the old PvP clips, and there's nothing better than just getting some 1v1s like this. You can see this Great Axe user. He's actually playing it fairly well. However, he's just, honestly just auto attacking. So I guess he's not. He isn't really using ability. Great Axe is a very, very strong weapon, though. Don't make that clip. I mean, that looks pretty rough in that clip specifically, but Great Axe is a fairly strong weapon. Any idea when SEA server will come out? I tried playing a while ago and no available world clickable. So we have the server link. We've linked it a couple times. So you should be able to look it up just by going to the Twitter account of New World and taking a look yourself. But there's there's a lot of great things to really look into when you go to their Twitter account as well. You can see some of the older posts, but for the most part, like I said, you're gonna be able to see the times at which each server comes out, or region comes out for New World. Did you notice a good variety of armor skins to customize with? Uh, so if you're talking about like, I guess you might be talking about dyes. So right now I'm actually running. This is a dye right here. You can see on this screen. I don't have any customizable skins that I'm equipped in the game because I didn't love the current options. I'm sure they'll come out with great options in the future because they want their money, right? But right now, I messed around with the dyes that they had in the shop on the closed beta because it was free, and you can see that I have an orange little outfit with a gray cape kind of, and it looks kind of sweet in my opinion. I like orange a lot, so obviously it's gonna look cool to me. But there's some cool dyes that'll make you look good, and you don't even have to pay for it, right? So you can actually get dyes in the game and make yourself look pretty cool. When you're taking in dungeons, go tank with 35 Great X, then or GR that you have great movement still, be good at tanking. Yeah. Yep, James has got that right. Courtesy of Furge. I tried that on beta, 8 a.m. everywhere. So yeah, 8 a.m. is going to be the launch for 8 a.m. Eastern for us Eastern players or us US East players. Are using light attack evade, light attack animation cancel all the time? No, not all the time. You actually wanted a heavy attack. Some of these earlier clips I am because I'm still what I would consider playing it incorrectly because you do want to use heavy attacks quite a bit on rapier um, because of how really, s- if you look at the range of the light attack, you're going to see that it's very, very short and you'll miss a lot of your auto attacks if you're just spam left clicking. Heavy attacking with a lot of weapons is actually going to be the way to go. It looks like it plays a little bit slower, but you are putting out a lot more damage, and it's got probably a better chance to hit, most likely, based on the lunge distance on some of these heavies. Is newer game controller friendly or definitely mouse and keyboard? For the most part, we are going to play on mouse and keyboard. A lot of people are going to try to play on the controller. It's not going to be much of a viable option, though. Unfortunately, they haven't really integrated too much controller support. But if you go to Steam and actually play the game through Steam, like everyone is, you can actually change some of those settings in Steam. So you could play around and make A your A and then B your B, and I don't know. You could play around. Obviously, you wouldn't want A and B on your keyboard to be A and B on your controller, but you can actually play with control a little bit. I wouldn't suggest it, but if you really want to, you definitely could. Yep. So Verge says there are YouTube videos that show you how to pair a controller, so you can definitely do that if you want to. Is that a dash rapier move? Yes, that is a dash rapier move. It's called an evade, and you're actually invulnerable when you use it. It doesn't go very far. However, it is like I said, you're invulnerable when you use it. You just don't go too far. So you're going to want to use it defensively most of the time, unless you're chasing somebody. Obviously, like this case, might as well use it a little bit, but it really doesn't help you catch up too much because, like I said, it's not much of a movement ability. It's more of a invulnerable ability, or I guess intargetable ability, untargetable. What do you think about faction imbalance? So they're going to have a bunch of different ways to combat faction imbalance, in my opinion. What they're doing great is making it so you can't actually you can't swap from a faction to the leading faction, right? So if there's a faction, say Syndicate is controlling everything on in your server, you can't have players all swap over to Syndicate just to reap the benefits, even though they didn't help. What you can do though is have everybody from one faction come to help you take over the other faction. So have the best players in war, have the all the people leading to make that territory into a conflict state. What I think will actually happen, unfortunately, is we will see some of these servers, not all of them, but some servers will actually end up going to basically a two faction server. So we're going to have a lot of people transferring over to help each other take over the dominant server. Or sorry, not the dominant server, but the dominant faction. So we may see that come into play. But I do think that for the most part won't be too big of an issue. I'm not sure exactly what they'll do, but for the most part it won't be too bad. There are functional dummies if you're PvP flagged if you go to a fort. So yeah, you can actually go to a fort and test all of your abilities out at the army camp. Hey, Black Rain, how we doing? Yeah, Justin, you got to chase down the runners for sure. If you guys haven't already, by the way, if you're in the stream today, in the stream it right now, make sure to subscribe to the channel on YouTube and then also follow me on Twitch. We stream on both platforms, so if you want to continue to support the channel, like I said, or even see New World content, definitely like the video, subscribe to the channel, and like I said, follow me on both. Hey, there we got some. James, thank you for subscribing to the YouTube channel. Spawny, thank you for following me on Twitch. And Kem Wolf, thank you for following on Twitch. Every time I say it, I feel like I just get a burst of them. And I know you guys haven't even heard it yet when you did the subscribing and following, but it's just funny how it works. I've not tried it, but seen some great gameplay with that combo. Yeah, there's some great gameplay with that combo for sure. Hey, Tazes Fighter, thank you for following on Twitch. I appreciate it, man. Loving the content, bro. Keep up the good work. I'm not sure about the house dummies. So, oh, is there house dummies? Is that what's being talked about? I'm curious if that's a thing or if they'll come out with that. That'd be sweet. I'm still in two minds to play this game. What Spawny? What are you thinking? What builds? What combos are you trying to? I guess kind of take into consideration. So hyped, yeah. I think we all are seven for sure hyped about this game launch. Do you have any weapons you guys are going? I love to talk about weapon combos and what kind of weapons you guys thinking of going because sometimes people are indecisive about one or two, and I try to help you decide or at least tell you my opinion on things. Obviously, you can do what you want or what's most fun. But hey, Moosey the Protogen, thank you for following on Twitch. I appreciate it. Getting a lot of new follows, a lot of new subscribers, so I do appreciate all the awesome support. I need a cooler looking avatar. Gillen coming after me on the avatar. I had somebody make that, and I just kind of kept it at this point, to be honest. So yeah, I mean, I probably do need a cooler looking avatar though. Fire staff or bow for ranged weapon. See, Austin, you're in the same predicament as me if you're asking that question because I'm going both because I can't decide. So that's the only one I can't really help you with. I think that the fire staff's probably more user friendly early on, level 30, level 40, but then bow kind of outperforms it level 60 in duels and maybe small scale PvP, but they're pretty even to be honest. They're just different kind of builds there. Hey, Core Reef, thank you for following on Twitch. I appreciate it, man. Got to be prepared to defend those battlements for sure. Do you think this game is good for MMO noobs? House of Coin, I think this is a great game for MMO noobs, and there's a couple reasons as to why, but the biggest one is there's only 6 abilities per weapon, right? So the the biggest thing to, like I said, mention is 6 abilities per weapon. That's very, very easy to keep under control and understand what you're doing. There's not that big of a skill tree. You'll see in other games like Path of Exile is not really an MMO, but they have like a skill tree that's absolutely massive. In this game, there's not that many skills. There's not that many passives. You're going to be able to find PvP builds, PvE builds that you can look into, and definitely, like I said on my channel, I go over builds and things. Um, like I said, this is a very, very noob friendly game, and it's also has a very, very high skill cap as well. So if you're looking for a high skill cap and noob friendly game, you've came to the right place. I think it's got it all. Hey, Nils McMountain, thank you for following the Twitch channel. I appreciate it. I'm just not sure which rain weapon sits on top. Yeah, I'm not sure what ranged weapon sits on top as well. We obviously haven't had too much experience with level 60 combat for too long or too recently, but for the most part, it does seem like bow scaled is very, very hard for PvP when it comes to 1v1s and 2v2s, but when it comes to a little bit larger scale, Fire Staff has AoE that's very, very strong. Ice Gauntlet is insane for CC. Ice Gauntlet's pretty much good in every situation right now. Uh, you know, Musket's good, but it's just tough because it does have a little bit of a setback with no mobility, and unfortunately, I think the traps are kind of useless. You can go trap build; they're just hard to use in certain situations for sure. Hey, Black Rain, thank you for following on Twitch. I appreciate it. I feel like going Rapier Musket for full decks, but also Rapier and Ice Gauntlet to fight multiple people. So yeah, if you're looking for a 1vx build, Rapier Ice Gauntlet's going to be a great option. If they get on top of you, you can riposte, and or you can actually go into your ice block. So you're gonna have a lot of options there to get away and kind of kite continuously with your Ice Gauntlet. So I think Ice Gauntlet's going to be definitely better than Musket for the 1vx or 2vx. So if you're looking to play against solid groups of PvP out in the open world, it's definitely a great option. Hey, House of Coin, no problem, man. Bro, you are killing it today. Explanations fluid and on point. Hopefully the coverage of New World increases your fan base, bro. Well, I hope so too, Justin. I appreciate the awesome support from everybody in this chat. Obviously, a lot of us are excited for New World, and we're going to continue to hopefully give you guys some great content. I haven't streamed much actual gameplay yet, so I'm excited to see what the gameplay actually looks like. I tried to run through and make the settings a little bit better. So we'll see how that goes tomorrow. We'll toy around with it, make you guys hopefully happy with the video as well as audio quality. But that's the main point here is we're just trying to grow, trying to make this community more about New World. We've done a lot of games in the past, but New World's definitely going to be the new focus for the foreseeable future. Hopefully this game lasts forever. Adrian, thank you for subscribing to the YouTube channel. I appreciate it. Mike Omlar, how much do I need to dono for you to carry me in your squad? Mike, if you are who I think you are, you're going to need a lot. Uh, No, I'm just kidding. But like I said, guys, everybody in here, you're welcome to watch all the guides. Obviously on YouTube, we're going to continue to try to answer everybody's questions. Nils McMountain, do you know if the Kindle passive on Firestaff affects Musket's powder burn? Passives on different weapons should not work with others. We've seen it actually happen with the Ice Gauntlet before, but for the most part, they do not. So I would say no with that one. I haven't tested it myself, but I would say no. Great X Ice Gauntlet too. The Gauntlet is a nice defensive weapon. Yeah, Ice Gauntlet is definitely one of the strongest defensive weapons. That's why you're going to see a lot of players actually running the Ice Gauntlet on Life Staff if they're not going tank Life Staff, just because it is a nice defensive way of, CCing as well as doing damage while you're just sitting there in your Ice Block and playing defensive as well. So it's a great option for a lot of players. Top 3 tips for new players. Well, you know, I'm going to stick with the one that everybody loves to hear, everybody talks about all the time. Do what you want to do. Obviously, you want to explore things. If you want to, level up the quickest you can, level up the quickest you can. And this is going to be just mainly one tip, but if you're looking to level up the quickest you can, there's a couple different ways to do so, and I have a bunch of videos on that. So I'm not going to get too much into detail on it, but for the most part, like I said, just do what you want to do. You don't have to rush through the content like I'm going to do. I'm going to rush through the content, but I'm going to have so much fun doing it. And that's the difference. Some people don't have fun rushing through content. So if you don't rush through it. Gather, craft, do the side quests, do the PvP missions, do the PvE missions. It doesn't matter what you do. Just have fun doing it. And I think we're all going to, like I said, do some of the same content eventually. I'm just going to do some content like PvP and things before you probably are. And that's the only difference. So like I said, just do what you want to do. Have fun playing, and like I said, I have a bunch of guides if you're looking for anything specific on new beginner tips, but you know, that's something you can look up on YouTube as well. Did you get my sub already, James? Yeah, I did get your sub. You subbed on YouTube, I believe, right? I do appreciate it. Subscribing on YouTube is obviously free. Following on Twitch is actually free as well. So if you haven't done both already, make sure to do both. How do passives on bow and rapier synergize? Do my bow passives affect my rapier attacks? So they should not. Passives should not. So Fur just actually answered one here. Uh, Passives for the weapon only work for that weapon. Or they should, right? They have been known to mess that up in the past. But for right now, it seems like that's the way they're going. So most of the time, it's going to be passives do not affect other weapons. I played fairly PvE in the closed beta, but looking forward to always on PvP for live. That's awesome. Um, PvE in the closed beta, you're getting kind of an understanding of the game. You're getting an understanding of the abilities you were playing with. And now PvP is something you want to jump into. That's the way most people will probably go. One thing that's really cool about PvP is, like I said, you don't lose anything. There's nothing hurting about trying some of these PvP fights. There's nothing that you lose besides maybe a little bit of, walking distance for the most part, right? You don't lose anything. So, um, as long as you have proximity voice off and you don't get trash talked on text, I guess you're not going to really, lose anything from turning on PvP flags and trying to 1v2 or 1v3. It's just a lot of fun. So definitely go for those fights. Hey, no problem, James. You guys can jump on Twitch, jump on YouTube anytime. Is there a difference between the factions? There's really no difference between the factions. PvP missions are a little bit different per faction, but for the most part, everything is the exact same. So there's no real difference between the faction missions. People will say, obviously, some people hate Covenant, some people hate Syndicate, some people hate Marauders, just for no reason, just friendly banter. But for the most part, like I said, there's no there's no real difference. It's just everyone trying to start a little bit of conflict because the game is focused on that kind of idea of having conflict of factions. So it's kind of a cool idea. Oh, so no energy for bow hits. No energy for bow hits. That would be crazy. Hey, River, thank you for following on Twitch. I appreciate it, man. When will the server start, boys? So the server starts different times for different people. So if you're looking to jump on right away for US East, it is going to be bright and early, 8 a.m. Eastern time. It may come on a little earlier. We've talked about that before in the past on open and closed betas. They've let the servers open an hour or two early sometimes. So keep that in mind. That's definitely a possibility. Um, just something, like I said, to keep in mind because, that's something that a lot of people will be probably sad about is if the server's been live for 3 hours and they were trying to go really hard. But, I'm not waking up too early for that. I'm going to continue to just hope it comes out when it says. I'll be up about 6 a.m. getting things done and then jumping on the stream about 7:30 most likely. The combo is good though since bow will be used to apply damage. Yeah, Ferge is all about the bow. So if you have any questions about the bow, he's going to be another guy that can help you out with that as well. Did you say what server you're going to play on? Trying to figure out a good server for my friend and I play on. Joe, I'm actually kind of leaving that off of the public. I'm trying to not influence where everyone's going for servers. I don't really want to make my server a streamer server. I want perfectly balanced factions. I want competitive PvP and PvE. So I'm not really giving that info out, unfortunately. I do hope we're on the same server with some of you. Just hey, Nils McMountain, thank you for subscribing with your Twitch Prime. That just gives me another thing to say, guys. If you haven't already, I am on Twitch streaming. So if you guys want to support me for free, use your Twitch Prime sub. Thank you again, Nils. I appreciate it. But like I said, I want perfectly faction balance. I want competitive PVE and PvP. So my company's doing or taking care of all the server side of things. I didn't get to play the betas. How long will it take to get up to speed with players who have beta experience? Andrew, it will not take long at all. A lot of these players haven't played much of the beta. Definitely if they've been in the open beta. Hey, Howarth, Howarth 92. Thank you for following on Twitch. I appreciate it. But like I said, it won't take long at all. It's 6 abilities on each weapon to learn, and if you just focused on 2 weapons, you'll be up to speed in no time. A lot of people switch weapons trying to find the weapon they want, um, and just by watching gameplay, you can probably find what weapon you want to, kind of focus in on. I am NA. Yep. Would you say that it's worth the money, and would you get the deluxe or regular version? I would say this game is 100% worth the money. It's only $40. A lot of games you pay for a subscription like WoW, you pay what, $15 a month. If you play RuneScape, it's another kind of MMO in a way. You play, I think it's like I don't even know what that's at, probably 15 as well at this point. It's definitely $10 a month. So you're paying monthly subscriptions on other games. This game you pay once, you're done. They may have expansions in the future, but you don't have to buy that if you don't think it's worth it. So in my opinion, yes, this game is 100%, 1,000,000% worth it. Hey, Norsto, thank you for following on Twitch. I appreciate it. Hey, no problem. I love answering your guys' questions. That's why we do these Q and A's. We'll probably even do these Q and A's, in the future. We might just go around gathering. Once I'm level 60, I'll be focusing on crafting and gathering a little bit too, probably. And with that, I'll probably do a little bit gathering sessions with Q and A's, just talking to the chat, talking to you guys. Because when we're grinding hard or we're in PvP, it's going to be hard to look at the chat every 2 seconds like I am now. But I will try to answer your guys' questions per pretty much always. So if you have any questions, comments, always come to these streams and ask away. For the meta, if you're looking for max damage, wouldn't you just go hard into Dex, Bow Rapier, or Strength, Hatchet, Axe? So no, that's not even really the meta. Hatchet Axe is strong, but you could go easily Axe and Hammer. That's a very very strong combo as well. If you're looking for duels, there are certain combos that are strongest in duels, but duels are really not what most people want to focus on because you're not going to be dueling all day. You're going to be in the open world PvPing, you're going to be in wars PvPing, you're going to be in Outpost Rush PvPing. So keep that in mind as well. Heard there was talk about it being pay to win. Right now, there is no pay to win. They talked about adding boosts to the game, so take that as you will. Boosts, I don't love the idea at all. But in reality, boost would just get you closer to the level 60 that we already are going to be at Christmas time. So let's say Christmas comes around next year. They talked about 2022 introducing some, not actually introducing boosts. They kind of taken it back a little bit, but if they do introduce boosts, let's say in 2022, most of us will be level 60. It won't really affect us much. It'll just actually introduce more players to the game in a way because they're going to, be able to get to our skill level, or not really skill level, but character level very quickly and actually play the game with us. It's not really, in my opinion, a huge deal as long as they don't sell like Azoth battle or Azoth bottles, I say, or Azoth in general. It's just a terrible idea to sell that. But uh, I think for the most part, we are going to be looking at a very, very long and healthy game if they don't go the pay to win route. And I think they won't as long as they get enough money through expansions. And I think they're going to get a ton of money through expansions. This game's already getting a lot of people excited about some of those new weapons and zones that are going to be coming out as well. OB88, thank you for following on Twitch. Haviz V, thank you for following on Twitch. I appreciate it. Everyone that is following the channel. Um, this is great practice because I'm looking at my gameplay, but at the same time, I'm trying to, talk to you guys at the same time, and I'm gonna have to get better at that with all these questions and comments. I love answering all these questions, and when I'm actually moving around in the game or doing maybe a dungeon or expedition, it's gonna be a little bit harder to multitask. But right now, watching gameplay and doing it, it's very, very simple. So hopefully, this gives me a little bit of a buffer to, or a little bit of a practice, I guess, to do better when it comes down to actual release and playing the game and talking to you guys at the same time. Solid info. Thanks, man. Hey, no problem, House. I'm trying to, like I said, give everyone the best info possible here in New World. But if you guys haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the channel and follow me on Twitch. Like I said, those are both free ways to support me. And then if you have Twitch Prime as well, you can use that for free, like Nils McMountain did. And I appreciate that, Nils. They need to make it VR. VR would be pretty nuts with New World. That'd be a lot of work, and I would hope they have a complete game before they do that. But that would be pretty sweet. If this goes too well, Lost Ark might be delayed even longer. That's true. I'm not too worried about Lost Ark, so I'm okay with that. But I'm sure there's some of you that would probably like to play it. Derek Busey. All right, Derek Busey. Busey. I'm sure it's Derek Bus Bussy. Derek Bussy. What is a good class to go if you have to do PvE by yourself? All my friends who are playing this game won't be with me since they will be too far ahead of me. Oh, no problem, Derek. Well, if you're good, I don't know if you ever played Overwatch. There's this character named Hanzo. The bow kind of works like that. So you're going to be able to play the bow, and it's actually, like I said, going to be a fun kind of build that you could roll with, maybe hatchet bow or even spear bow. Really anything with bow if you like that kind of Hanzo playstyle. If you're looking for more of a all-in comp, you can go strength-based weapons like hammer or great axe. Going to have a lot of CC and it's going to feel really good. The sound on the Warhammer sounds really good and it feels good. So definitely one to watch out for. Hey, Sharingan 9722. Thank you for following on Twitch. I appreciate it. Hey, no problem, Peter. Or I don't even know if I answered your question, Peter. It might have been Ferge. There's not going to be any cross-player interaction, right? Meaning, if you make another account than your main one, you can't affect your second in any way, shape, or form. That is correct. That is definitely a very, very big deal. And in Nino, that is a very, very big deal. You can't create another account if it's in the same server cluster. Ferge is just popping on both fronts today. I think he's deserving of definitely a mod badge here in a little bit. I'm gonna have to do that at the end of this at the end of this stream. I'll definitely be modding you, Ferge, by the way. So stick around for that. So you can see here, we actually are on this fort, and this is where you'll find a lot of like open world, large scale PvP. And so what you'll see is just constant fights in some of these areas. So just keep in mind if you guys are looking for PvP just to have some fun at the end of the night, maybe you just grind it all day. You want to have a little bit of fun. Go to some of these forts and contest them. If they're able to be contested, you're going to find, like I said, PvP. As you see here, we run in and we actually are able to combo these guys very, very quickly. I would say they're probably unorganized, just groups of random players, but we take them out very, very quickly. Obviously, with so much combos there, you're seeing some of the hammers go down, some of the great axes go down. When can we play? Midnight, or is it launching? Or is launch going to be during the day tomorrow? So it's 8 a.m. Eastern time. You're going to be able to play tomorrow. It is different for each individual player, so keep that in mind. It depends on your region specifically. So Twitter, go to the New World Twitter and find out when's your region coming out. Blunderbuss is coming soon. So yeah, Blunderbuss is going to be a strength-based weapon that is ranged. That is going to be coming soon. We're excited about Blunderbuss. We're excited about dual daggers, um, and obviously we're excited about Void Gauntlet as well. Those are just three of the main three that I would say are coming the soonest. I've never heard this. Can't have two accounts. You mean character? So you can't have two characters. You can have two accounts, but you can't have two characters. Obviously, there's no way for Amazon Game Studios to really know if you have two different accounts, but for the most part, like I said, you can have two different you can't have two different characters on the same region. Or not really region, I guess, more same cluster, I should say. Unhallowed, hey, welcome back. How hard expensive is it to respec your talent and attributes? Ferge, I don't know if you can answer that one. I actually kind of forget that one. I think it's at level 20 for attributes, and then for weapon mastery level 10, you can actually do it for free. Then after that, I think it does start costing. It's not too bad. It does scale with your level for the gold that it costs to rescale redo your basically attributes. That's something to keep in mind. But like I said, do it early and often in the beginning of the game to test different things out with your weapons and abilities. You're going to want to do that for free for sure. Thanks, Graphic and Ferge. Now just to find some friends to play with. Life staff it is. Uh, Derek Boosie, you'd be really good with the life staff, hopefully. Like I said, your life staff's very, very strong right now. Maybe a life staff, like you said you played Hanzo, I think, earlier. So you could play some. bow life staff definitely possible. Is it free upon reaching level 20? I believe. Uh, level 20 character level. Yep. Hey, how big of a difference is 50 versus 100 ping for PvE and PvP? I would say that's a decent deal, but in reality, you can actually get used to 100 ping. It's definitely something that you've seen in different games, competitive games. People that are really really good can be really really good even with bad ping of 100 or 120, 130. So keep that in mind. But like I said, you are going to be at a small disadvantage until you figure it out and how to play with that ping. But for the most part, obviously the guy with the lower ping is going to have a better experience when it comes down to outplaying potential. Hey, no problem, Hollow. So Furge has the answer there for you, Hollow. Is this game released? No, the game's not released. The game comes out tomorrow at 8 a.m. So if you guys have not already, if you guys want to, by the way, stick around for the future streams, make sure to follow me on Twitch. Follow me on YouTube as well. We come out with tons of guides, tons of different tutorials, tips. So you're going to be able to see all of that information down in the description below. And it's free to subscribe and it's free to follow, so definitely do so. What do you think will be nerfed first beta? I can only hope that life staff is nerfed. I don't really want anything else nerfed. I think we should play a little bit longer with some of these weapons before nerfing anything else. I think Ice Gauntlet has a few bugs that need fixed, and it's in a very strong state. But for the most part, like I said, life staff's going to be the one that needs focused on. Hey, Ghost, thank you for following on Twitch. I appreciate it. I bought the game. Should I watch guides to learn the game or adventure my way in? You can watch the guide or adventure your way in. It's up to you. If you haven't watched any guides up to this point and you just want to play, maybe, just want to explore and do your own thing, definitely go about it. You've already gone this far, right, without watching guides, so you can keep going and wait to watch guides until you're maybe at a point that you want to watch guides, or you're just needing more New World content. It's up to you. Hey, thank you guys for all the follows. Rectile and Ant Chovy, thank you for following on Twitch. I appreciate it. You guys are continuing to show so much support on this channel. Like I said, we're going to talk about so much New World content in the next couple of weeks. Um, you're going to want to, like I said, stay tuned for that. There are currently no NA Central servers, unfortunately. So that is unfortunate. There's no NA Central servers. The only reason I'm happy is because I'm a US East player and it made our company go US East. I don't love it, but at the same time, I love it. So, unfortunately, I'm actually benefiting from that. D-Loot has followed. Thank you for following on Twitch. I appreciate it, D-Loot. We are continuing to get a lot of different follows and or subscribers, I should say, to the channel. So thank you guys again. Why life staff? Heals too strong, can't damage through heals. Cannot damage through heals. Definitely a thing that's a problem in most situations, is you cannot damage through those heals. Ane, thank you for subscribing to the YouTube channel. I appreciate it. But like I said, there are some ways to counter it, but not many. And they're hard to actually do. You're going to have to combo CC. You're going to have to just, like I said, combo CC and damage them very, very quickly. But, if they're running a tank build, it's still so hard to actually do enough damage to take them out. And even with the hatchet debuff that is pretty solid with, healing reduction, it's not enough at all, and it's hard to hit. So they need a lot more healing reduction abilities, or just weaker healing staff or life staff in general. Yo, I super appreciate the useful info, man. New here. Hey, Slappy, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Always trying to give out that useful information. I'm going to be late, or 8 hours late, because of school, which is a pain. Harriet, that's fine. Everyone else is probably going to be 8 hours late as well, besides the people that were able to take off work, which is not going to be over 50% of the people. So you just have to think of it that way. Um, you know, like I said, you're also going to get rested XP if you. Well, I guess you are going to get rested XP in that amount of time. But like I said, you'll be fine, just fine. There's a lot of people that won't be starting until they get off work or school. So everyone's in that kind of same boat if they haven't been able to take that day off, or weren't able to get or just aren't able to play at release. Why is everyone using bow? Is it a big advantage? There's actually not that many bow users. I've noticed that bow's not the most used right now. If anything, I would say Ice Gauntlet is coming through pretty heavily. I've been seeing a ton of Ice Gauntlet users recently. I don't think it's the most used. I still think Great Axe is the most used, probably because of just the amount of damage, and just when you auto attack with the Great Axe, you're able to lunge so far. Um, but like I said, for the most part, you're going to see a pretty good mix of weapons in New World. You're going to see a lot of people using a bunch of different things. Hey, Andre, thank you for subscribing to the YouTube channel. I appreciate it. Iganar, thank you for following on Twitch. I appreciate it. Yeah, most weapons are really balanced right now. Like I said, I think Life Staff is probably the only one that's just unbelievably busted right now. And I think when they change that up, we're gonna have a very, very good balance, and we're gonna have a new weapon to complain about, obviously, like there always is. But for the most part, life staff's the one to complain about right now. So that's why I'm it's kind of doing it right now as well. I gotta be at work as well. So you're gonna be at work during the release rectal. That's unfortunate for sure. Like I said though, a lot of people are gonna be at work, a lot of people are gonna be at school, so you're not gonna be too far behind. And the biggest thing with this game is if you rush too hard anyway, you're not gonna be having as good of a time as if you probably take it slow, depending on how you, or I guess who you are as a person. But I love grinding, but you know, it takes all of us a little bit differently. Let's see what else we have in here. So Harriet, it was the same thing for open beta. I was able to catch up really quickly, but still very excited for tomorrow. Yeah, we're all so excited, obviously, for release. You know, we've been all waiting. If you, it depends, I guess we're all different, but a lot of us have been waiting for so long, up to a year or two or 3 years or whatever. It's been a long time since the first or the very first alpha. I've only been playing. I haven't really played the pre-alpha, but I played the open beta and the closed beta and a little bit of that pre-alpha. And for the most part, I've been waiting for a while as well. And I think, like I said, we're all just so excited about it. There could never be enough healers. Yeah, that's another thing is healing's so strong. It's so relevant in every single game. I'm not sure why they had to make it so strong. I think they just thought that hatchet ability CC would be a little bit higher counters. But some of the combos with the healing staff or life staff, I should say, is just too strong of combos that make it overpowered. Obviously, if you had life staff users going something like Musket, it wouldn't be a big deal. But um, you know, hey Caleb, thank you for subscribing to the channel. I appreciate it. Patch notes are not going to be going out until the servers go live, which is very, very unfortunate. Rander, thank you for following on Twitch. You guys are, like I said, killing it with the support today. A bunch of different, new followers, supporters. And we're going to continue, like I said, to bring you guys New World content. So if you haven't already, jump onto Twitch, jump onto YouTube. Make sure to follow me on both. Make sure to like the video on YouTube. And, like I said, if you have Twitch Prime and you haven't used it already, it is free to use. So if you aren't going to use it somewhere else, might as well use it here. We're going to be relevant on Twitch for quite some time. We're going to be streaming on both, hopefully, platforms for quite a while. Feels like I'm 12 years old again, waiting to come home to put in the disc into the old console. Adam, that is, I think, a lot of us feeling the same way there. A lot of us. Christmas morning tomorrow for me. Christmas morning. What build will you be running? I'll be running the rapier for sure, and then obviously I'll be switching between two weapons, and I'll be going over the build. I'll be completely running. In the next couple of days, I'll go over a complete mastery level 20 build with it, and that's going to be the fire staff and the bow. I love both so much. There's so much outplay potential with that build, and that's why I'll be sticking to those at the moment. What's been tough for you though? I only played the closed and open beta. Do you like how the game has changed since you played pre-alpha? Yeah, for the most part, I like it. A lot of people complaining about stagger. I don't know if you guys know what stagger is. Every hit basically pushed you back in a way, or kind of made you not being able to move. In my opinion, stagger was unbelievably bad prior to closed beta and alpha, or not alpha, but open beta and closed beta. I think stagger was a very, very big issue, um, and I went to war and you'd walk out the door and if there's two guys sitting there, those two guys could literally use a hatchet and you wouldn't move until you were dead. It was really, really bad. It's like every hit was a stun. I like the idea of maybe making heavy attacks have stagger, so you have more of a reason to heavy attack. Heavy attacks are already so strong though, so I'm not sure what they'll do with that. Stagger makes sense in some situations, but when you are crowded by a mob, you will hate yourself for even being near those people because of that stagger being so strong. Will all East and West servers have the same ping? No, East and West obviously different locations, so the servers are in different locations, meaning different ping for each one. So you can actually take a look right now if you actually load up New World. If you pre-downloaded it, you can go into US West and US East and see the different ping differences. I don't think they give you exact numbers, but it should be like green or yellow depending. Okay, wow, so your choice is quite definitive. Yeah. What do you think we will be a better second weapon for Great Axe, Warhammer, or Hatchet PvP? Great Axe is so good with both, so it depends what you want to do. Do you want to lock people up and have your team go at them, or do you want to do all the damage yourself and be able to 1v1 pretty much everybody? Great Axe and Great Axe and Hatchet is going to be more about chase, because you're gonna have insane chase with the Berserk plus the Great Axe having the burst of speed, the charge, and then the reap, and then the grab. Well, you're gonna be able to really chase everybody and anybody. But with the Great Axe Warhammer, you're gonna have a ton more CC, so that's gonna be more relevant when it comes to wars. then hatchet will be most likely. So it depends what you're going for. If you're looking more for that war gameplay where you're going to be able to CC everybody, or even if you have a lot of damage already in your group or your company, going that Great Axe hatchet, or sorry, Great Axe Warhammer will be a little bit more useful. But if you're looking to do more damage and chase, the Great Axe hatchet will be probably your best. Is there any objectively bad weapons or combos? Uh, Combos. I would say life staff musket might be bad to be honest. But really, there's no bad combos. I would guess if you go strength weapons with intelligence weapons, that's pretty questionable sometimes. Uh, you know, for the most part, there's not really bad combos. But like, I mean, you could probably think of a few. I haven't really thought of too many bad combos though. This is not live footage. This is closed and open beta footage. So there we go. Furge has one. Life staff and fire staff makes no sense since both require a spec in either focus or intelligence. That is perfect. A perfect answer because there's literally no reason to go a life staff, fire staff. So there's things like that. So definitely always take a look at the main attribute as well as the secondary attribute to make sure they kind of work together in at least some form or fashion. As some weapons just don't work together very well. Gonna go for sword and shield, I think, plus gun as second for pulling. So you're gonna go musket and sword and shield. You definitely could. Definitely could. There is. Did you pre-order? Yeah, so you can actually pre-download the game right now. If you guys didn't know, if you already bought the game on Steam, you can go into your Steam library and start the download. Get it ready. If you guys haven't already, by the way, make sure to subscribe to the channel and follow me on Twitch. Like I said, both of those are free to do. And if you guys haven't already as well, if you have Twitch Prime, you can definitely subscribe to Twitch for free. And we'll, like I said, continue to bring you guys that content. Look at that. Every time I talk about following or subscribing, I do get followers. So I think that's just something we're going to have to see if that continues to come true. But Yobson, thank you for following on Twitch. I do appreciate it. Awesome support. Like I said, it's already been a successful day, based on this Twitch stream and YouTube stream. Peanerd RL, thank you for following on Twitch. I'm wondering if you play Rocket League. I would assume you do. If you play Rocket League, I play a lot of Rocket League as well. I love Rocket League. Great game. Do you recommend setting the swap active weapon bind to an easy access key, such as a mouse button? I do. That's what I do specifically. It's very, very easy if you're new to, weapon combos or you're not very good at just, spamming weapon or sorry, spamming different honestly, it's just easier. That's why I do it. I don't do it because it's easy. I do it because, I mean, I do it because it's easy. It's just so much more simple, so much easier. Yes, I do put it on a mouse button, and then I also have my Q on a mouse button, which is evade. So evade on rapier is such an important ability. You can actually, like I said, be invulnerable or dodge pretty much anything, and with that, you're going to want to make sure it's easy accessible and easy to, like I said, easy to do. And I think that's why, like I said, I put it recently instead of my Q on a mouse button. In this gameplay, you'll see it as Q, but I'm trying to get used to the mouse button being my evade as well as my fireball on the fire staff. If you have mouse buttons, take advantage of them. In and all, no problem, man. I'm not trying to force anyone either. I'm just mentioning it for those that maybe don't even know they have it. But thank you. If you do that in October, obviously I'll let you know that I appreciate it. Hey, Peanerd RL, thank you for subscribing to the channel, man. I really do appreciate it, guys. If you have that Twitch Prime, like I said, you can do it for free, and that's pretty much why I'm suggesting it. If you just have it sitting around and you have nobody to use it on, might as well use it. And like I said, I appreciate it, and I'll continue, hopefully, to bring you the best New World content there is, so that I can continue to, get this kind of support from you guys. Do you think Fire Staff Ice Gauntlet combo is going to be good? Vokoda, yeah, I do think that's going to be a good combo. I think you may run out of mana occasionally, but for the most part, you are going to have a very, very good time because there's a lot of mana back abilities. So with the, what is it? The Pillar of Fire, which is on the Fire Staff, you get or mana back from a couple different abilities. Depends what you want to go there. Passives wise, you can get abilities back, or sorry, mana back from heavy autos. But then you also, like I said, Pillar of Fire gives you mana back, and then you can also go on the Ice Gauntlet side of things. You can get mana back from a couple different passives. So yeah, you can definitely go both, and you have mana potions and you have consumables yet. So Fire Staff, Ice Gauntlet. I actually almost die in one of these clips to a Fire Ice Gauntlet user, and that was before I even knew it was useful. I thought it was actually probably a bad build, and it definitely was not when I played against this guy. So props to him. He played it correctly. Unfortunately, I was a little bit higher level, and I think I did play the second half of the fight much better. Can you download the game right? Yeah, you can download the game right now on Steam for sure. Yep, playing RL mainly. RL is a great game. Like I said, I'm GC in RL since season 11. I don't know what season we're on now, but season 11. What's your plan at launch tomorrow? I'm going to be getting up at about 6 a.m., getting things done around the house and just job wise. I got some things to do, and then after that, I will be on at 7:30 a.m. Streaming for about 14 to 16 hours, depending on how well it goes. Obviously, you got to sleep at some point, and you got to do things at some point. But for the most part, I will be streaming all day long the next couple of weeks, hopefully. So if you guys haven't not already, like I said, make sure to subscribe to the channel and follow on Twitch. Deathrament, thank you for following on Twitch. I appreciate it. Hey, Distract Mr. Streamer, how do I get good at the game? Thanks. Well, you get good at game by taking up those PvP fights. So you lose nothing from dying in PvP, right? So Distract, what you're going to want to do is take every PvP fight you can get because, like I said, all you're going to lose is that walking distance. You're not going to lose anything else. You don't lose gear. You don't lose XP. So it doesn't hurt any by trying to 1v2, trying to 1v3, or just trying to even 1v1 higher level players. What is the best way to look for decent guilds in game or on some website? To be honest, well, I'm going to be biased here. I think YouTube has some great guides. Personally, I think I have some great guides for some builds. But if you're looking outside of, the weapons I've already covered, then, there are some great websites that can go a little bit more into detail. I could help you out with a couple different builds. On stream maybe sometime. But like I said, I'm not going to go over that right now as we don't have a great way to do it unless we go to a website. But you can check out worldforge.gg and take a look at some of the different abilities right now if you wanted to, and just kind of think of what would be good. If you played the game before, if you've even watched gameplay, you can probably know what's a solid sounding passive or solid sounding ability. Oh, he meant guild as in company? Let me go up and see if I missed something. Oh, guild. I was looking build. No, he said guild. I said build though. Or yeah, he said it right. Sorry, I misunderstood you. Hey, Ralph Han, thank you for subscribing to the YouTube channel. Um, okay, so yeah, if you want to, like I said, look for a guild, the best way to do so is to probably find one before you join a server, just in case you don't like the companies in the actual game. But if you're looking for a company in the actual game, there is a recruitment section that a lot of new companies are definitely going to be looking for players. So you can go either way about it. You're going to find a company either way. There's people that are always looking for new players, whether it's kind of a newer or lower population company or it's a really big one. Like I said, you can go to the recruitment section in your server that has maybe the best ping if you want to focus on ping, and then find the recruitment section so you can find a good server, or sorry, good company in that server. Or you can go straight to, like I said, some of those websites that you were talking about and find a company that just makes sense because of what they're focused on, whether it's the age group or, some people go for crazy different things, whether it's PvE, PvP, age group, or, just whatever else. Here's the Fire and Ice Gauntlet. If you're still in here talking about the Fire and Ice Gauntlet, here, I believe, is the Fire and Ice Gauntlet player. You know what? This is not the Fire and Ice Gauntlet player, is it? No, it's a Rapier Fire Staff, I think. So, never mind. The Fire and Ice Gauntlet guy hopefully is coming up. Hey, Topin Mindset Putra, thank you for subscribing to the YouTube channel. Felix7791, thank you for following on Twitch. I appreciate it. New World has released an official Discord that can probably be used for recruitment, but I haven't checked it. Okay, so if New World has an official Discord, definitely use that. Like I said, they're gonna have a great, amount of people that you're gonna be able to find companies for. Clay Wilson, thank you for subscribing to the YouTube channel. I like I said, I appreciate every time somebody shows more support like this, continuing to subscribe to the channel and follow both platforms. And for those of you that have already done that, thank you guys as well for continuing to watch. I hope to continue to keep you guys interested in not only in New World, but hopefully my content as well. Hopefully it kind of proves interesting or proves worthy of your viewership. Is musket a good weapon? If so, should I choose for a secondary? Hey, Felix, how you doing? Yeah, you should, Ralph. If you like musket, if you like the way it works, like the way it looks, yeah, definitely go for it. Musket's a great weapon. It does a lot of damage. It's actually much easier to hit than the bow. But the only thing you're gonna have to worry about with the musket is you don't have really an escape. You do have traps that can help you if you put the traps down and then they chase you, but you don't have much of an escape. So your secondary weapon may want to have somewhat of an escape. So you could go musket rapier, you could go musket or sorry, not musket rapier. Yeah, you go musket rapier and musket spear. That's what I was looking for. Musket spear, musket rapier are both great options, and you can also stack musket with intelligence builds as well. I believe musket scales with intelligence, so you could always go musket fire staff or even musket ice gauntlet if you want to go a little crazy. But for the most part, musket, spear, musket bow, or sorry, musket spear, musket rapier is something you'll see a lot. New World Fans is a website, but there is a Discord that you can actually jump onto. I don't have the exact link, but New World does have a link for their Discord. I'm sure you could find it on maybe the Reddit. I'm not sure exactly where you'd go for that, but there is. Looks like okay, there you go. Looks like Fur just has got your help there. Here you can see that I think there's like what 5 players here. If Alf doesn't die here, I think he said he messed up. If he doesn't die here, we do get so. I mean, look how much damage we get with the Ice Gauntlet Fire Staff combo. It's just so strong. I think a lot of people are going to be switching over to Ice Gauntlet when they see the CC and the damage that it does. I think this is going to be the next weapon people complain about. Great Axe is one that people already complain about, but it's not to the level of Life Staff. And I think, honestly, Ice Gauntlet might take over with seeing how wars go when people get stuck in those ice showers and ice storms. Shane Pruitt, thank you for subscribing to the channel. I appreciate it. Are you going to get better items in Endgame from farming dungeons or crafting? Both. So that's the cool part about this is crafting is relevant throughout the entire game because you get to pick the passives, you get to pick the perks, you get to pick, I guess perks and passives are kind of the same thing, but you get to pick, kind of all of what you get with crafting. And you don't really get to do that with dungeons, right? So certain weapons in dungeons are going to be better in crafted gear, but for the most part, you're going to be able to do either one depending on what you're going for. So it's going to be all dependent on what kind of build you're looking for, what kind of weapons you're looking for. So keep that in mind. Looks like we do have a couple new people joining in. If you guys haven't already, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel on YouTube, and then also follow me on Twitch. Subscribe, like I said, on YouTube. Both free. It's all free to do, all free support. So you guys are going to continue to support me like this. I do appreciate it. Looks like you're going to see a lot of these large scale PvP fights. Definitely, if you're going to the Valhalla PvP server, there's going to be a lot of servers that are going to be Zerg versus Zerg early on, even. But for the most part, I will be flagged up the entire time. So hopefully on this channel, you'll see a lot of these early fights on videos as well as streams. Because I do plan on continuing, obviously, to make a ton of videos, content for you guys on YouTube, and then also streaming on Twitch and YouTube as well. Hey, graphic, will you go rapier, fire at release? Wayne, I will be going rapier, fire, and bow. I'm going to be going 3 different weapons because I cannot decide on exactly which one I want to go more. And I think it's great to have 3 weapons, 4 weapons to choose from, just in case you get bored with one weapon or you want to change it up because something's not working or you're not playing something correctly. So rapier bow is going to probably be the best option for myself. Just because, like I said, there's great benefits to the bow specifically being high damage late game single target, and then also having the choice of rain of arrows and poison shot doing a little bit of AOE, and then fire staff having that AOE as well. I might be going fire staff bow and actual DPS AOE damage in the wars. Is this live gameplay? No, this is just videos of PvP gameplay that I've put up in the past. So this is all previous closed beta and open beta gameplay. Can I talk a little bit over healing in PvP? I see that the life staff has some passives and it needs to hit your allies with light attack for dispelling debuffs. What's your thought about life staff gameplay? I think life staff gameplay is way too easy. If it's going to be so overpowered, it needs to be at least hard, and it's not hard right now, in my opinion. Hey, Ant-I, thank you for subscribing. That wasn't even a Twitch Prime sub, so a lot of respect to obviously Twitch Prime subs as well. But Ant-I, thank you for subscribing to the channel. I really appreciate it. You guys are showing a lot of support recently, and like I said, we're all just so excited for release. So hopefully, I can continue to bring you guys some of the best, content, whether it's gameplay or just builds, guides, or streams. So, like I said, though, life staff's just a little bit overpowered right now. I don't really have much gameplay of life staff because I haven't played it myself too much in some of these PvP fights. But I've been enough with the groups of players using life staff. I've been in um, wars, and I see how the life staff works. I've been in a 1v3 with life staff users, and we literally have to walk away from them because they're going heavy armor, life staff, and we cannot kill them because their self healing is too strong, and they'll go something like sword and shield or hatchet or ice gauntlet with they're pretty much impossible to kill. Oh, okay, interesting. If you go bow rapier, will you go dex? Rapier fire is intel, if I remember, not sure. So rapier fire is intelligence. You're going to want to go intelligence, but rapier is actually going to be main priority dexterity, but you're obviously, if you're going a fire staff, you're going to want to focus on intelligence because it does scale just 0.65 instead of zero point 0.9 with intelligence. So yeah, that's one thing you'll keep in mind there. Uh, Vokoda, thank you for following on Twitch. I think you followed. I thought you followed on Twitch earlier. Maybe it was you subscribed to the channel on YouTube. I appreciate it either way, both ways. I appreciate the awesome support. What is better, second weapon for a PvE tank, Great Axe or Mace? So Mace isn't a thing. I'm assuming you're meaning Warhammer. Warhammer is going to be a very, very solid option with Sword and Shield. I would say if you're looking to tank solo, a life staff is going to be needed with Sword and Shield or Warhammer. But if you're looking to tank for a group of players and you'll have a life staff user in PvE or PvP, then you're good to go. Something like Great Axe Hammer or even Sword and Shield Hammer. For the most part, you are going to want a hammer uh, kind of combined there. You could probably stick with something like Sword and Shield, but like I said, you're going to want a hammer probably with the Great Axe or a hammer with uh, the Sword and Shield. Just because, like I said, hammer has so much CC in this game, it's going to make everybody use their stamina. It's just a strong, strong, strong weapon right now. I think it's just going to be a lot of people focused on that Great Axe Warhammer build for tanks, though. But like I said, you can go Sword and Shield very easily. It's a very strong weapon as well, or sorry, very strong combo as well. How hard do you think it is to get max luck bonuses on armor, weapons, etc.? I think it's going to be very hard. Obviously, crafters are going to have to focus on making those kind of things before people go into level 60 dungeons to make sure they get the best kind of loot. And that's going to be a cool aspect of the game as well. There's so much that people don't really know about quite yet, and I'm so excited to kind of see them learn about some of these different kind of mechanics and unique features. Hatchet with the Carnelian gem is very, very strong. I forgot about Hatchet when you said tank. Hatchet's very, very strong. Thank you for saying that, Verge. If you're looking to tank, Carnelian gem with Hatchet, like I said, very, very strong as well. Hatchet is great for tanking. Aaron knows it too. Yeah, I missed that one completely. Hatchet's another great option as well. Hey, Death Chain Games, thank you for following on Twitch. I appreciate it. Oh, Death Chain, it's James. Nice. How do you even make luck gems, by the way? Luck gems? I don't think there is luck gems. If you're saying like luck weapons and armor and things, you'd have to craft it. I don't know the exact recipes and everything. I'm not much of a crafter quite yet. I'm hoping to get there and give you guys some great tips and stuff. But uh, I have buddies that did a lot of the crafting in the closed beta, so I tried to learn a little bit more in the open beta and play around with it. So we'll see what happens. I think a lot of us are, like I said, excited to try more in the crafting system for sure. Good evening. Keep up the streams, buddy. Hey, Max, thanks you. I plan on keeping up the streams. So if you guys like today's stream, by the way, make sure to like the video on YouTube. And if you haven't followed me on Twitch or YouTube yet, make sure to follow on both so we can keep these streams rolling. Yeah, luck perks, etc. Yep. Are made with metals that are obtained through open world farming. Yep. Verge is just killing it. Yeah, that's exactly how they're obtained. I knew that they were obtained through metals because there's obviously, like I said, more perks that you can get through those metals as well. I just forgot completely about them. I don't think they're called metals, though. What are they actually called? They might be called metals. Do you get the increased threat from the Carnelian gem if it is not the active weapon? That's a good question as well. I believe you do not get that. So much hype for this game. Yes, there is, Ant. I mean, there's so much hype for this game, and there's great reasons as to why. Obviously, everybody should be hyped for this game if you've been following it for a while. It's been such a great progression of just really good updates, good things coming to it. Yeah, because I'm guessing having max luck is going to be a necessity for endgame. I would agree as well. Obviously, if you're running that late game dungeon, you're going to want max luck just to make sure those runs are full efficiency. But you could obviously run it without max luck as well, but I'm sure some company leaders and stuff aren't going to be happy if you're not running with full efficiency by getting those max luck gems, not gems, but like max luck perks. Yo, Graphic, first time seeing you on Twitch. Love the videos. Hey, Concrast? Yeah, Concrast. I've seen your name quite a bit on the comment section of some of my videos. Thank you for, tuning in, not just on, Twitch, but also on YouTube. I appreciate it. If you haven't already, by the way, make sure to follow on Twitch as well. So we are going to probably do streams on Twitch, on YouTube. We're going to decide fully which one we're going to do, but if we keep getting this kind of support on Twitch with Twitch Prime and Twitch drops and all this kind of thing, we probably are going to make the switch to Twitch. So like I said, if you're on YouTube, make sure to follow on Twitch. I don't know exactly what we're going to do quite yet. So hopefully we can keep this dual streaming kind of going up for just a little bit longer. But 400k players tomorrow. Mark my word. I think we're gonna get more than 400k players tomorrow. Actually, I guess it is a weekday, but I think we are. Um, have you seen the leaks? Future looks promising for sure. Luck is on gear and tools. Yeah, luck is on. Hey, Caleb, what? I'm not sure exactly what leaks you're talking about. I'm not sure if you're talking about some of the weapons, some of the zones. Maybe we've talked about the. I can't even think of the name. Sands. Um, Brimstone Sands. There we go. The zone. We have the weapons. Obviously, Void Gauntlet, Blunderbuss, Dual Daggers, all coming. Oh, 400k viewers on Twitch is what I meant. Okay, I was gonna say we're gonna get way more than 400k on the game. Trophies for the house. Yep. Those are going to be very, very solid. Those luck bonuses on the trophies for sure. Hey, Mavril, thank you, or Mav RL, Mavril. I would say Mavril probably, but thank you for following on Twitch. I appreciate it. What armor play as a healer in PvP? So you'll have that benefit of if you go life staff and you go light armor, you're going to heal a little bit stronger. And then heavy, you're going to heal a little bit, obviously less, but you're not going to really want to do anything, in my opinion, there's no reason to really not go heavy because you're going to do still enough healing that it doesn't make a huge difference and you're just not going to die on heavy. So I think heavy is the way to go unless you're running open world. If you're running open world, I would go medium. Medium's going to be that kind of midpoint that's going to still give you a lot of movement for that open world content when you need to kite or you need to, push with your group. You're not going to want to stay too far back or too far forward. Hey, Mavril, thank you for subscribing to the channel on YouTube as well. I appreciate it, man. But like I said, yeah, I think you can actually go pretty much anything with life staff right now. I just think the most efficient is going to be heavy, just so you don't die. Because if you don't die, your team's not going to die. Okay, so light armor healing output wasn't working correctly on open beta supposedly, so we don't know how that plays out on release. The problem is heavy armor was already doing insane amounts of healing, so I could only imagine what light's going to do. Light's going to be even more busted than it already was. Hopefully they revert. I don't know. Life staff needs nerfed for sure. It ruins high level PvE content as well in dungeons and expeditions. So I really, really hope they did nerf it. Okay, Ice Gauntlet and Elemental Spear Int Gem is bad for PvP. I learned that last stream. I don't really like the rapier, so how about Ice Great Axe for PvP? Um, X-Furge, what do you think about Ice and Great Axe? I don't think that's a great combo just because they don't scale together. So obviously Great Axe is going to be strength, Ice Gauntlet going to be intelligence. Um, if you're going Ice Gauntlet, typically people will go a couple different things. So they'll go either Ice Gauntlet Life Staff, they'll go um, Ice Gauntlet Rapier, they'll go Ice Gauntlet Spear, they'll go, well, not Spear really, but Ice Gauntlet like I said, rapier, ice gauntlet, fire staff. But for the most part, they don't usually mix it with strength-based weapons, but you definitely could, just because the CC is still there. But yeah, I don't know that it won't work great, just because of like I said, the attributes just don't really work together. 30 minutes after start and servers are not ready yet. Luke and the servers are not up. So I'm not sure. Not sure what you're talking about. The servers are not up quite yet for I don't believe any region, but you know NA East we do have our servers coming up at 8 a.m. Eastern tomorrow. So if you're NA East, that's when you're come out tomorrow. Ice Gauntlet is for sustain and survivability, while Great X is for chasing. Yeah, so it doesn't really work together in that aspect as well. Is PvP tanking viable? Max survive CC over DPS mobility. PvP tanking is viable. Yeah, you can definitely go max survivability in CC. So that's what Hammer is going to be so good for. That's what Great Axe is going to be so good for. That's what Sword and Shield is going to be so good for. Um, those are all going to be so good for that survivability and sustainability. Sustainability is also going to come from Hatchet pretty heavily. With Hatchet, you're going to have Berserk, you're going to have Undying perks, you're going to have the healing on the Hatchet overall. Just so many great options when it comes to tanking. So just keep that in mind. You're going to be able to play a bunch of different weapons there. So I want to run Life Staff, but I heard Ice Gauntlet is a good meta pairing. I was thinking Life Staff Musket might be fun, but it wouldn't really be viable in meta really, just because it doesn't really scale together, right? So Life Staff doesn't really scale with anything. It's mostly focused. But Musket Life Staff, you could play around with it. You could do PvE with it, but the the actual build's probably not the greatest because the whole idea of life staff right now is the idea of staying alive so you can heal your teammates. So you're going to want to go something either tankier or something that kind of gives you that survivability. So a lot of people going life staff, ice gauntlet, life staff, hatchet, life staff, sword and shield, even life staff, great axe is almost better. But like I said, life staff, really hatchet, life staff, ice gauntlet, life staff, sword and shield are probably the best right now, just in terms of survivability, which is going to give you, like I said, the most heals for your team. Will every server on East have the same ping for us West, or yeah, for us West players, or do you think some will be better than others? Some might be better than others. I would assume they are in different locations. I think they're going to have some in, like Texas, some in Ohio, some in a couple different areas. So we'll see what states they put them in. I don't know that information off the top of my head though. You can run life staff with anything except fire staff. Life staff musket is not meta, but can work. That's what Ferge is telling you. I think that's actually accurate. Like I said, life staff, because it's a focus build, nothing really combines with it in terms of scaling, but anything can work with it. Most people just go for that survivability idea. My ping on US East is 9 ms. I'm excited. Wow, that is unbelievably good. Voco, if you don't mind me asking, what state do you live in? Just because I'm curious of my ping. Where are the servers located IRL? Because I'm located in central US. So, like I said, there's US East and US West. We don't know exactly where they're all located. I don't personally, at least, know. I think there's some in Ohio, some in Texas, like I said, on the east side, but I'm not sure other than that. Warhammer and Great Axe works for PvP and PvE, or am I gimping myself by not going Hatchet? So I think Warhammer Great Axe work great for both. You're going to be a tank in PvE, so it's not like you need to do a ton of damage, and Great Axe does a ton of damage anyway. And then PvP, it's absolutely huge. Definitely with a group, you're going to stun people up like for a long time. And like I said, if you're running the right abilities, that's a very strong build. And if you want to run Hatchet, definitely do it. But like I said, if you're wanting to run Warhammer Great Axe, that's a great combo, and it definitely works. Hey, Basics, thank you for subscribing on YouTube. I appreciate it. If you guys haven't already, by the way, I'm going to say it again. Subscribe to the channel on YouTube, and then also follow me on Twitch. I really do appreciate it. It's free support to me, and it means a lot. So if you guys haven't already, also use your Twitch Prime sub on Twitch for free. VA, so you live in Virginia and you're having 9 millisecond ping. That is unbelievable. That's very good. Excited for you. Real Brado, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm not sure what you're saying there. I'm back. Had to take my nap. Oh, Zach. Well, that was a quick nap. We're still going on the stream. It's only been 2.5 hour stream. Like 20-minute nap, 30-minute nap. Um, someone can gift me this game. I wish I could gift everybody this game. I want everyone to play it because of how good it is. But that would be great. Maybe if New World's able to give me out a little a giveaway at some point, that'd be great. What are the best weapons to use for PvE? PvE, honestly, everything works for PvE. You want to focus on what weapon you like or what weapon is good for PvE mostly, and every weapon is almost good for PvP. So you're just going to want a good combo, really, one that scales with, mainly what you're going. So if you're going bow, you're going to want, rapier, spear, or musket. You're going to want, like I said, to really just pair weapons or combos together that work because everything works for PvE for the most part. Um, you need DPS, you need life staff users, you need tanks. So it's really dependent. I would say PvE though, if you're looking for that early game that's really strong, Hatchet's going to be maybe your best bet, just because you're going to be able to run through content very easily with the sustain and with this just constant damage if that target is standing still, like PvE content or PvE targets sometimes do. Hope it shows the ping before a pick. That would be nice. What calculator website you guys using? NewWorldData.com skills have no sword. Interesting. I don't know. I don't know what's the best website for that. Guys, I may call it though on the stream. We had a very successful stream, but like I said, we're gonna be up bright and early, 7:30 a.m. tomorrow for about like a 14 to 16-hour stream. So I might take a break right now, and if you haven't already, like I said, make sure to subscribe to the channel on YouTube. Like the video; it does help, like I said, with the algorithm. And then also, follow me on Twitch. We're gonna have a lot more streams to come, and I want you guys to not miss it. If tomorrow we can't stream on both because I'm lagging a little bit too much to stream on both platforms, um, you're gonna want to make sure you don't miss the stream. So follow me, like I said, on Twitch, subscribe to the channel on YouTube. Thank you guys again for all tuning in. It really does mean a lot to get this kind of support. It's a lot of fun, and it's always good to talk about it. We're going to be talking about so much more related to New World. We're going to have videos coming out left and right for New World as well. So if you're going to want to stay up to date on those videos as we get more and more content out there. So thanks again. I'll see you guys, like I said, all in the next stream tomorrow, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. I'll put the at least on YouTube. I'll schedule the stream so you guys can see that.